Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here for the ALR 100% League with your boy Luke. I'm back after whatever the hell last week was. I'm back. Did you all miss me? Thankfully, there should be no issues this week. I have good internet. I have an Elgato all set up, and I have a very loud beeping noise. Thank you, controller, for that. How are we all doing? I hope you're all doing well. I'm just going to quickly do my casual, what do you call it? Oh my god. Yeah, I know what I mean. My hearing test sound check. Yep, I heard myself. That's way too much enough for me. We are live. We are at Equars. Hello, Knowsley. Mark, welcome. Good evening, Jenna. Welcome to the stream, everybody. How are we all doing? Again, apologies for last week. I thought my internet could handle the stream at my aunt's house. It could not. Turns out she has really bad Wi-Fi. So I am back at my grandmother's. She has kindly taken me in for the evening of non-stop action, and we will have proper internet to work with, a proper microphone, and it just feels good, feels right to be actually having a working stream again. I hope you're all doing well. I do have some news to tell you all about, personal news as well, because I was going to tell you last week, but my stream didn't go very well, and massive thanks, props to Sean for stepping in last week. Obviously I had to sacrifice his race to step in for my bumbling Wi-Fi. We are in, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you can all hear the background game noise. There is a wildcard tonight, so before I start rambling on about my personal life, because I think you'll all find it very interesting, I will go through the wildcard. So tonight's wildcard is all 5, yes, 5, that includes intermediates and wets, even though it will be dry. All 5 compounds must be used in the race. Now, the rule is you must technically do 1 flying lap or 3 laps. You must do an out lap, a flying lap, and then an in lap. So you must do at least 1 lap where you're on your tyres for the full lap. You have to do all 3 sectors with that tyre and then come back in at the following lap. So that means wets and inters will be used. So you have to use them. Will people go early? Will they get them off their plate straight away? Or will they go for a late race, maybe mid-race? Who knows? So that is the plan. You have to use all 5 sets of tyres. I believe it is the same penalty as it was earlier in the season at Hungary, where you have to do 3 stops. I believe it's a 20-second penalty at least for every tyre you do not use. Although I will get confirmation from the admins. I'm sure it'll be something like that. Yes, 20 seconds per unused compound. So yes, you will be absolutely stuffed if you do not use all the compounds mandated. So just use them all. Okay, 5 compounds. I know wets and inters are going to be really annoying to use on a dry track, but you have to get through them. They shouldn't be too bad because they won't really overheat too much by the end of the stint. So do not forget, ladies and gentlemen, all 5 tyre compounds in use tonight: softs, medium, hards, inters, and the full wets. We do have a very busy track early on. Everyone deciding that they need to get out there around the streets of Singapore. Call Singapore a classic track and a newly announced track for the sprints next season. Not quite sure how it's going to work at Singapore, given it's Singapore. I'm sure some of you are looking forward to Britain returning to host sprint races. I was there for the first sprint race ever in 2021 at the British Grand Prix. But I will not be there next year like I was this year because, as I did hint to last week, I'm returning to Australia, ladies and gentlemen. My time in ALR will have a closing date after this season. I will have to step back from both my full-time racing duties and my commentating duties, for I will be returning to the land down under in February of 2026. Telling everyone now for the first time, because why the hell not? So yes, I will be stepping down after this season in both capacities because obviously I'll be in Australia. Racing at 6 a.m. does not sound particularly fun to me, and not especially on quite crappy Wi-Fi given my distance from everyone. But yes, I'll be returning to Australia, and I'm sure you'll be so happy to hear I will be at the Australian Grand Prix next year. I will be there at the first race of the season, the first race with Cadillac in Formula 1, the first race with these new rules coming into effect. So very exciting as Kieran throws his car through the left-hander of Turn 5. So yes, that is my personal news. I was going to tell you last week, but obviously my internet had other plans. So we shall enjoy our time together, as brief as it shall be. I'm sure I will return to commentating at some point in Australia. But yes, I will be sad to say goodbye to you all. Not Gina, though. Gina says apparently I hate him, so for that, Gina, I'm not going to miss you next year. Obviously, I'm joking. We are now focused back to the on-track action. Now, enough boring you with my personal life that I'll be returning to Australia next year. And Kieran is flying through into Sector 3, coming to the final DRS zone, the newest DRS zone after, of course, they chopped off the back end of the track because of reconstruction works. I'll be interested to see if they keep this layout on the track because, I mean, I do miss the old track because it was very technical. But, I mean, this new track does give you slightly better, and I mean slightly better overtaking opportunities with the extra DRS zone. As Kieran comes up to a 30.9, that is going to start us off. What can Jay Hings do? He beats that time to 29.7. Wow. I know Kieran's car was a little bit fluffy, but Jesus, that is quite a gap. R2 Beat can only do a 31.5, and Jinna does a 29.999. So Jinna already into the 29s. Reflection, our championship protagonist, into the 29s as well. What about our other championship protagonist, Equaz? Equaz has jumped up to P4, only 3.84, the Hash driver. Cars are coming through thick and fast. KD has invalidated. Legend starting a lap as well in the Haas Vessier, starting a lap. Hakusaka. Okay, I don't know how to say that. And Lewis also on laps. We do not have, as you may see, Lucas Percy, the gentleman who has had a fantastic run of form recently, unable to partake tonight, so he is not going to be here. So that does make it a little bit easier for Equaz and Equaz and Reflection, because of course they will be not having to fear so much about the seemingly unstoppable Lucas Percy. Just for a reminder, Reflection is at 10 points clear of Equaz in the championship at the moment, and Equaz himself is 21 points clear of Lucas Percy. But as I said, Lucas not racing tonight, so it is going to be down to Equaz and Reflection to pull this gap a little bit more. They need to try and shore up the defences, because I'm sure in this last few races it will be a sprint of who can claim the most points. And of course, Equaz and Reflection are already locked into the championship battle. They just need to try and stop Lucas Percy getting ever closer. He is getting encroachingly closer. This is also the first time that we're going to have the update, obviously, because we got a big update Monday, with, at least I have now seen the cars with their updated liveries, which looks quite nice. I like the new green on the Aston Martin. Hasuka has come up to the line, and a 32.3 greets him, and Equaz Legend does a 30.1, caught up to the Alpine very quickly at the end. And Vessier, 29.590, half a tenth off Paul Vessier, showing he does have some claws, as he has shown throughout the season. So good showing from the Aston Martin pair. KD has invalidated. Ginger Rage has also invalidated, which I think is quite impressive, given it's Singapore, and we can invalidate a couple of places. Liz Corner especially, you can definitely invalidate. KD is going to be coming into the pits. Ginger Rage might be staying out depending on how much fuel he has. This is going to be a long one, ladies and gentlemen. We will be having 62 laps, and this is a very long track. So please do strap in, get a cup of tea, get a nice cold beverage of your choice. I've got some flavoured water, which is supposed to be, according to the flavoured water, telling me that I need to get more Vits. It's flavoured water, but with like loads of vitamin D, apparently. I've never tried it before. It's on sale at my local Morrison's. It looks nice, but I'm kind of scared because I don't know what to expect because I've never had this drink before. So it is cold. Why? Hope you're all doing well in the chat. We have had the first flurry of laps in. We have a few more still to come. Sean back out there, hopefully without having to need to have to come and bail my ass out, because I think we should have some decent internet. R2 Beat, it looks like he's going for another push lap here. Interestingly, he's going to push more on these soft tyres. Marsky is maybe doing the same. He doesn't have a fuel light flashing. Kieran has head back out, as has Ginner. So the two Williamses are back out on track, ready to go for second runs. Of course, I don't know really the strategy, because obviously with 5 tyre compounds in play, you don't really not really gonna have a conventional strategy. So it might be worth it to burn through your sets of softs, because it's not going to be very useful in a race which isn't going to really, be defined by necessarily how many sets of softs you have left. I wouldn't be surprised if people just burn through them. Ooh, that is actually quite nice. I give that a very nice rating. Wow. Sorry, this is not a review about flavoured water, but I do love flavoured water. Where was I? I have just completely sidetracked myself. That is remarkably impressive. Jenna makes up his own Marina Bay circuit. Ty, obviously, the strategy is a lot less conventional today. So we will see what the drivers are going to do. Marsky, purple sector 1 apparently for the Fly driver. Marsky, who has definitely been a Saturday hero rather than a Sunday one, has had some very good qualifyings in that Ferrari, just hasn't been really able to convert it to the race pace. He's like the complete polar opposite of me, because I am a race merchant, not a quality merchant. Although in silver at the moment, I'm neither. So that is always good to see. So, yes. Marsky going around into Sector 3, the third DRS zone of 4. Again, I'm quite liking the fact they've actually updated the liveries. That white 2 on the Ferrari looks good. He's up by 3/10, so that would put him... Now, keep him P9 if he can keep up that rate of improvement. He is 6/10 off the back of Kieran, so you'll need a little bit more from the tank if he can get it. Kieran about to start his flying lap as well. Marsky will stick aboard with the Fly driver. He's nearly out of battery, but there isn't much track left to worry himself about through the final couple of corners. Battery completely drained. Marsky up to the line. Improves by 4/10, but stays P9. So he did improve a little bit in the final sector, but just ran out of push at the end. Who is coming up to the line next? We have a McLaren of Vintage, because the Hungry Stars is the only McLaren here. He's not Vintage, using the chrome livery. I quite like the fact that you can use the chrome livery just if you really want to use it. The very bright pink helmet as well, Vintage. Loving the bright pink. As Vintage comes up to the final couple of corners, and he will blast his way around the Marina Bay circuit in that beautifully chrome McLaren, which I'm ashamed kind of still don't won't keep. Maybe they'll bring back later in the season, because they can win the Constructors' Cup McLaren this weekend in Baku, which my missus is incredibly happy about, because she's been a McLaren fan for 10 years. So she's about to witness them go back to back. It still feels quite odd to me, and I don't know if people will agree with me in the chat. It does feel really weird to think of McLaren as the dominant team. Like, I know they've been, had a really good car since the middle of last year. They've dominated it this year. It's going to be Oscar versus Lando for the championship. It still feels weird to think of McLaren as a top team, because they've been such a midfielder for like 10 years. The thought of McLaren winning back-to-back constructors titles and dominate the season in the way they have, as reflection goes even quicker on the 29.3, really feels weird, I think. I don't know if I'm just a bit of the weird one, because that's how I feel, but I think because McLaren's been such a... I was a McLaren fan back in the early 2010s. Like, I remember Lewis winning his championship in 2008. I remember, the McLaren winning in 2012 in the Australian Grand Prix. But I've never thought of them as a top team basically since then. It just feels weird, to me at least, that we are referring to them as, the top team. That's just me. That's me going on a ramble and a rant about just... useless things. But yeah, that's just my two takes. It feels weird to... I'm not shitting on McLaren or hating on McLaren. I think it's great that we have an old team back to the top. If only Ferrari could do the fucking same. But it just feels really weird to think of McLaren as a top team. Vintage goes P12, 31.2. Not a bad lap from Vintage. Stops himself just behind Marsky. Nicely done from the McLaren. Knowsley is on a cool lap, as is Kieran. KD is not pushing in any way, shape or form, and neither is Equaz. Ginner is still making up his own Marina Bay circuit, quite impressively, to be honest. So I think we're going to have another small lull in proceedings before we get the final pushes as the clock tracks down. So Liam on out lap Mushroom in the pits, as is Mushroom's case. He will sit in the pit lane until until he wants to, really. Liam has invalidated that corner there. It is really annoying because it invites you to go really wide, but then if you do go too wide, it is a track limits violation. So it is quite a weird sensation, I'd like to say. As Marsky has lagged out. I can see if I can invite him back. That is settings. That is nothing to do with what I needed. Do I even have Marsky as a friend? No, but I have myself. How does that work? Not entirely sure how that works. Okay. Marsky, if you need an invite, let an admin know. Because Knowlesy's in the pits. So you can let Knowlesy know. Because I don't have you as a friend as Liam slices his way. The car's really not having much rear downforce at the moment. I mean, it is a high downforce track. You're going to have near to 14 above rear wing. But none of these cars seem particularly planted at the posterior, which is quite impressive. But again, it could be tyre warm-up because this is also a very difficult track to warm up your tyres because, of course, it's a street circuit. You're not particularly carrying much speed through these corners, so you're not really getting the lateral wear and lateral tyre temps up. So, yeah, it's interesting there. You're seeing a lot of oversteer, which obviously is not going to bode well because the red tyres are the tyres that obviously take a lot of beating around here in Singapore. They really do struggle a little bit with... traction and all that. It is a traction game. It's like Baku in many regards, which I'm quite excited I'm not visiting on this year's calendar because I think it'll be quite fun to visit Baku. Obviously, Baku Grand Prix in real life is this weekend. We're not doing Baku, although this is a bit of a weird calendar because we do dash back to doing Austria reversed towards the end. As you do, we start doing the flyaways and we just go back to Europe. We are doing it in the main league. That's good. That's what I like to hear. And we're doing Texas next week. Ooh. Looking forward to that. Love Texas. Nice track. But Liam put himself into P13. I'll stop getting distracted by our beautiful calendar, which, of course, as always, is available on the Discord. And if you're not part of the Discord, you should totally go join it. R2B is up by 3/10. His teammate was also up by a little bit. So the two Alpines pushing in what will likely be one of their last laps of this track because they will not finish this lap and get round in time. If they bail now, they will have time. But if they don't, then they are not going to have it. And they are gleaming away in the pink and blue, which has grown on me a bit more this year. When I saw it at the F175 event, I did physically recoil, but it has grown on me a bit. I think all the liveries have grown on me a bit, apart from the fly livery, which can go in a dustbin. And Hakusaka has invalidated, so he will not be able to finish this lap, so he will probably dive into the pits. R2 though is still pushing up. What is R2 second time? Looking like he's up by nearly a second, is R2 which would put him very much in the realms of Lewis O'Reilly. So R2 we know he has pace. He has shown it on multiple occasions throughout this season, but slightly struggling. At the Singapore Grand Prix, of course, these cars are on realistic settings, so this will be a realistic Alpine, not an equal Alpine. Apologies for the indigestion. R2 now flies around the final corner and up to the line. It is a second gain, and he does indeed pip Lewis O'Reilly. There's quite a bit of a gap. We are seeing quite a gap. Normally, we'd see quite small gaps here, but we have the top 7 in the 29s, then half a second between Jinnah and R2 Then it's quite close between R2 and Kieran. Then it's another about half a second back to Knowlesley, who is 2 milliseconds ahead of Marsky. Then you have another small gap, and then you have Hakusako and Ginger Rage, who are the only drivers in the 32s at the moment. Styles and Mushroom looking likely not to come out. Styles has done very well, and Mushroom has done very well on race day, so they don't feel the need to set a lap time, but completely fair. It is up to them. Legend is harvesting, so he's done. Equaz coming out the pits as well. So we're going to have a flurry of laps here, ladies and gentlemen, and it is going to be pure chaos. Ginger Rage is again making up his own Marina Bay circuit very impressively. I'm very impressed about how these drivers are just going around making up their own track. I'm gonna show my age here, but I do miss the Singapore sling. There might be a few of you not knowing what that is, and if you don't know what the Singapore sling is, look up the Crash compilation, because dear God, was it a killer. That sling took out at least one car every year, if not more, because for some reason they thought that the F1 cars were like sports cars and could just weave in between 3 very jagged corners. I will speak up this week, Mushroom, just for you. I will speak up as you overtake everyone. I'll yell loudly, Mushroom's made an overtake, or Mushroom's put it in the wall, both of which are equally plausible at this point in the season. Obviously, we're now very much used to the F124 game. Kieran is pushing away in that, he said Red Bull, in that Williams. That'd be a massive insult to the Williams F1 team. Kieran Flaws, like, again, wiggling. None of these cars look particularly glued to the track, potentially not having much grip on the track surface. As I said, street track, you do tend to get quite a lot of evolution over the course of a weekend. He is flying, though, is Kieran, into the second sector towards the end of it. He's got two more DRS zones. Oh, again, sliding around that corner, struggling to get the power down. Wheel spin, rears complaining. Kieran pushing onwards, though. What is his second sector split looking like? He's up by nearly a second. Kieran's in a chance here. He could get into the top 5. If he keeps this up, it could be even a run for pole. A lot to do for Kieran, though. He has just 3 more corners to go. He has the chicane and then the double left-hander, which technically makes it 4, but I didn't want to say that out loud. Kieran now into the chicane, throws it right, throws it left. Got to make sure on the barrier on the right, just about does it perfectly, does Kieran. 2 corners to go. How brave is he? Slight lift through the penultimate corner, around the final corner, full speed up the line. Kieran, 29.4. Front row for Kieran. What a lap from the Williams driver. Next is going to be Lewis O'Reilly. He's up as well by a good chunk. What can he do? He goes P3. He jumps ahead of his teammate. It is an all Aston Martin second row, but the clock is ticking down. Are Liam and Hakusuka going to make it? Hakusuka isn't and Liam isn't, so those two are done for the day. Unfortunate for both of them, they are finished. They shouldn't get in the way of anyone else because there is a Mercedes, and it is Reflection, and he's up. The championship protagonist Reflection hasn't had the best last few rounds. He struggled a bit. Can he turn it around tonight? Lucas Percy isn't here. His championship rival is in P8. Can Reflection put it? Oh, he's invalidated. I missed he's invalidated. I got all excited for nothing. Thanks a lot. Next across the line is going to be KD. KD goes P4, 29.4 for him. Very nicely done. It is Jinna P6. Very nice. Good job from him. We have R2B up again by even more time up to the line. Does not improve. 30.4. He will stay P10. Good effort, though, on those tyres of that age. We have Vessier. Oh, he's gone. He's done a stroll. He's strolled it. He has Lance strolled it, and he is spun at the final corner. Keeps it out the wall, and he will cross the line. But that was very Lance Stroll reminiscent. And the challengers are fading. Reflection looking more and more likely to have the pole position. Jay Hings has cut that corner atrociously and very rightfully gets invalidated for it. Equaz, what can he do? Can he respond to his championship rival? He can, but he can only beat his teammate. His teammate who is not on a push lap. Legend will stay P9, and I think that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Lewis and Kieran have both started their laps, and unless they have a shed load of battery, which they don't, it is going to be Reflection who takes pole here in Singapore by just over a tenth of a second. Very good job there from Reflection. He putting a stamp potentially on his championship ambitions tonight here in Singapore. Kieran as well, very good job. He's obviously a newer addition to the grid. He's done very well. P2. Lewis O'Reilly, got to be happy with that. 8 milliseconds off the front row. KD also close. Vessier, props to him, and Jinna as well. Everyone in the 29s, everyone who did a lap, well done. But everyone in the 29s has done extremely well and should have no regrets there. So we have quite a fun grid, actually. We have 2 Williamses, 2 Astons, 2 Mercedes, 2 Hasses in the top 10. And then we've got the cheeky Alpine of R2B just throwing himself in there because why the hell not? And the even cheekier KD in the V-Carb who's put himself onto the second row of the grid. We'll wait for Lewis just to get back into the pits. I believe he's the only one we are waiting for. Yes, I'll give you the results. We'll go to a quick break and then we'll come back for the start of the Grand Prix. So it is Reflection on pole. Kieran is second. Lewis O'Reilly third, missing out by the slimmest of margins. KD P4, Vessier P5, Jinna P6, Jay Hings is P7, Equaz is P8, Legend is P9, and R2B rounds out the top 10. Ginger Rage got to be happy with P11, Knowsley P12, Marsky P13, Vintage P14, Liam P15, Hakusaku P16, Styles Mushroom 17th and 18th, neither of whom set a lap. So we'll be back shortly. Let the drivers get their setups and everything done, and I will be back shortly. Get a cup of tea, get something nice and cold, because this is going to be a long one, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back after the break for the Singapore Grand Prix. back in for the Singapore Grand Prix. We have several drivers on the grid. Let's see, has anyone gone early for a set of inters or wets? Because, of course, all 5 compounds in play tonight. Let's pull up all the timing screens and all the data. No, everyone is on dry tyres, maybe because the game wouldn't let them switch to inters or wets. But we do have the trifecta of tyres on display here. So Reflection on mediums, Kieran and Riley on softs, KD medium, Vessier, Jinner, Hings, Equaz, Legend and RTP on softs, Ginger Rage and Nolsey on mediums, Marsky on softs, Vintage hard, Liam's medium, Haku Saku hard, Hungry Style soft, and Serious Mushroom on medium. That is Vintage. Is Vintage not back in? He's a ghost right now. Is he not in the lobby? I didn't see him leave, but he might have left. Do I have Vintage as a friend? I mean, I don't know who I do and don't have friends on this. Vintage, I do. I'm going to send him an invite because he's not in the car. That's a ghost car. Hopefully he can get back in. At least I have someone on this grid that's my friend. So this does potentially give us a little bit of an insight on who's going to jump early onto potentially mediums. Potentially inters and wets. Everyone on softs, I think, will probably might go early, but we're trying to do a short one. But of course, you do have to do sort of almost 3 laps on the tyre. You have to do an out lap, a flying lap, and an in lap. So we can't do like all first lap, bolt straight into the pit lane. So. And you also do have to remember the safeguard chances are quite high here. And if someone's on full wet tyres trying to get back round to the pits on the dry track, we could have someone in the wall. Or quite a few people in the wall, especially if someone's trying to overtake someone on wet tyres. So we will wait and see what the game state of play is. Jinna's apparently also left. People are struggling at the moment. Oh yeah, Jinna is also AI. Okay, well that is unfortunate for both of those guys. Reflection pulling up to his grid box, doing some burnouts. Obviously being on pole. Parks it nicely. Kieran very pointed towards the Mercedes Lewis P3. Everyone lining up. I love this overhead shot. Although I think the Haas has 2 shadows. So Legend has 2 shadows. Not quite sure because he's worked out how to program shadows in this game yet. Great overhead shot to watch cars line up. I need a better shot for the start lights. We are just waiting for the final bits and bobs. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we are away here in Singapore. Those lights were on for ages. It's like a pretty evenly matched up from the top 2. But in the second half, Kieran gets a jump on those soft tyres. Into turn 1, it's going to be Kieran who leads. Reflection second. Bit of a nudge there from Lewis and Riley. Lewis and Riley has gone round. But apart from that, I think they've all made it through in one piece of 2 side by side. Looks like they've all made it through. Lewis and Riley keeps it going. He just nudged the back of the slow starting Reflection. And that has unfortunately spun him to the back of the grid. Reflection down to P2. Vessier P3. KD P4. Everyone pushed up place. Equaz is up to P5. That could be critical for this championship. They are still jostling all the way in the back of the grid. Marsky trying to get past the Red Bull of Ginger Rage, who is into the top 10. They're all still jockeying for position as they head down into turn 5. They all are trying to keep it clean. Equaz is fighting with KD. Oh, as it is, that's a push from Jinner. That's a bit of a push from the Williams. Equaz has to be careful not to kill him. Equaz is... Oh, but now Hings is up the inside. No, not quite done. Equaz still trying to fend off attacks from the Williams. This is not what Equaz needs, as KD's already got a 10-second penalty. Okay, it is chaos here already in the Singapore Grand Prix. Jinner thought he could have a run at Equaz. Equaz thought he'd have a run on KD, and in the end, none of them really got anywhere. But out front, Kieran has absolutely bolted on those soft tyres. He's 1.7 seconds clear of Reflection, who has Vessier for company, but they themselves are 2 seconds clear of KD, who is still fending off attacks from the Haas of Equaz. So these soft tyres are quite simply far superior at the moment, and they're side by side. KD trying to push Equaz off the racing line. KD trying to hold it around the outside, but I think Equaz is going to have it. No, KD holds on. And does he give enough room to the Haas? He does just about. This gives Jinner a run. Jinner up the inside of the penultimate corner. Can he get it done? He can. Yes, Equaz is down a position as that was Hings running wide. This gives Legend an opportunity to go up the inside. Legend pushed himself up so the Haas is making ground, but Equaz down a position on where he was as Jenny Hings throws it back up the inside, but thinks better of it in the end. DRS is enabled, so that's going to benefit Vessier, going to benefit Jinner and all of those. As Lewis and Riley overtakes Vintage. No one pitting yet. You can't yet. You have to wait to the end of lap 3 to pit, effectively, I think. Probably. As we head now down the start finish rate, KD has been dropped by the top 3 by a country mile. Jinnah here going to have a look, going very dramatically to the left, but nothing doing for the Williams driver. 2 Hasses lying astern. Hings watches and waits and always hit the back of the Hass there. He watches to see if anything could be done for him. Everyone keeping it clean at the moment. Longsley under a little bit of attack there from Markey. So the soft tyres really proving to be very good at this stage in the race. Far superior to the mediums. Those are what would be your standard strategies. It's a 2 or 3 stop, regardless of your tyres. So there is what the game would say if this was a normal race. But of course, it is not a normal race by any stretch of the imagination. Jinnah having a bad sector 2 there. Someone who isn't is Vessier. He is posterior all over the back of that Mercedes. He's hoping to push on and maybe close that gap to Kieran. But Vessier, he's going to make the move into the chicane. He does have the DRS. Can't quite get it done. There again, reminder of what would be your conventional strategy. So the soft tyres are not lasting very long at all, according to Pirelli. But they are lasting just long enough for Vessier to continue hounding the back of the Mercedes. Kieran, another fastest lap of the race, but not that much quicker than the cars behind. Are his potentially soft tyres starting to wane? No one coming to the pitch yet, because it is the end of lap 3 that they can pit for the first time, apart from Haku Saku, who has incurred front end plate damage, so he will be into the pits to get that looked at. Kieran gap is nearly 2.5 seconds to reflection, so fantastic job there from Kieran. He is just bolted into the sunset, or into the Marina Bay night, as we could say, because obviously this race held in the pitch black darkness. Evening, Luke. Hello, howsy? Jinnah's having issues. No game sound. Oh, really? Oh yeah, no game sound. Why is there no game sound? That is quite irritating. I can hear game sound. So it's just you guys clearly who are having issues. No, I'm joking. Of course, is my Elgato picking up any? It is picking up game sound. So I don't quite know why I'm not getting any game sound. Apologies for that. Why am I not getting any game sound? Yeah, why are you not picking up any game audio? Let me just double check here. The game audio. Aha, whoopsie. You'll get it shortly. Give me 1 second. Boink. There we go. Apologies for that. Hit the right button. We now have game audio. Apologies for not getting that, but we're on lap 3. Reflection still ahead of Vessier. KD still ahead of Jinnah. But Reflection is still just about holding on clear of the Aston Martin. Thanks, yeah, I hadn't actually selected up the Elgato. Normally the Elgato automatically selects itself as the game audio pick up on. It just hadn't on this occasion. So I'm going to... No, I'm going to take that slightly. So you should have some game audio now. I hope. Yes. Don't diss Formula E. I'm a Formula E fan, Howsy. Don't you start dissing Formula E. You come to the wrong live stream, you're going to start dissing Formula E. Reflection still holding on. No one has decided to pit yet. Haku Saku has, but he had front wing damage. Doesn't really count. So potentially we might be seeing a last gasp effort here for the Inters and Wets. Or wait for a safety car. Obviously, same as Hungary, it is a 1 pit stop per safety car. So if there's a safety car, you can pit only once. If there's another safety car later on down the road, you can pit as long as you have fulfilled the minimum requirements. Liam is falling back positions. He's just lost out to Hungry Stars. He's just about to get himself ahead of Lewis Riley in the Aston Martin. So Star, Lewis Riley, he was having a good comeback after that spin at turn 1. He has just, however, thrown his Aston into the barriers. No visible wing damage, no end plate missing, but he has got now serious mushroom all over him, and he doesn't have any DOS. So the trouble is piling up for Lewis Riley, who had a very good qualifying, but is at the moment having a rather disastrous race. So Kieran keeps that lead on to lap 5. He's still pulling out ahead of Reflection, 35.2 for him. Reflection does a 35.3, so only about a 10th clear on that lap as Ekwaz has got past Jinnah. Jinnah has died in the pits. Jinnah, our first pitter of the evening. What tyre is he going on to? He has to pick one of them. Is he going to go for a wetter compound? Does one of the risk of the safety car coming in? Those look like full wet. No, that is not him. That is R2 Beat. R2 Beat going on to wets. Jinnah is going on to wets himself. So, Inters for Jinnah, wets for R2 Beat. So Jinnah on the Inters, R2B on the wets. They are well clear of Haku Saku, so that is a benefit. They won't have any traffic particularly, apart from each other. But you think Jinnah will probably have a better lap. So these guys now have to do this lap, so they've got to end of lap 5, they have to do then to the end of lap 6, and then pit at the end of lap 7. So these guys have to keep these tyres on for the end of lap 7, and you can already see R2 Beat struggling on these full wet tyres. Jinner as well, he'll be struggling, but not as much. But they are going nice and early for these wet tyres. They want them out of the way nice and early, which is not a terrible shout. Only thing it does do is they do risk a safety car at a later date, potentially giving the others around them an opportunity to pit onto tyres and obviously overcut them. But Jinner and R2 Beat going nice and early off of their slick tyres. So off they will go. They've got to be careful not to get lapped. That would be a slight issue if they got lapped. Although I'm sure Kieran will let Jinner through without much hesitation. As Liam picks up a 3-second penalty for track limits, our first of the evening. Quite impressive, in fact it is Singapore. Liam has been overtaken by Lewis. So Lewis is still climbing up the grid. Got that spin at turn 1 and then clattering into the wall at last lap. So Lewis comes up and around, and he is into the top 12 now. So he's pushing forward. Chris Russian looking to try and get through on Liam. Nothing doing there. He might have to wait, Mike Mushroom, for Liam to be dropped out of DRS range before there's anything he can do about it. Equaz up to P5, of course, with people pitting, getting promoted a bit. Messi are still holding on to the back of Reflection, but they are still quite a way off Kieran. But I would expect now the medium tyres to start churning, to start working a little bit better than the soft runners, given lap 6 and given the fact that Pirelli said he's going to do about 12 laps of the softs in the tyre strategy before race. So yes, I'm sure that these guys will start now to fall off. In fact, Vessia has just dropped outside of DRS range, and Reflection, the gap is no longer increasing. In fact, I think it is slightly shrunk on this lap so far. So Reflection now going to start pushing onwards. KD as well, starting to catch on to the back of Vessia now that he doesn't have to worry about Equaz, Legend or Hings badgering him every 5 seconds around every corner. So these guys in a little DRS train of their own. Of course, Reflection would love it if Jay Hings could get in front of Equaz and potentially go tactically slowly, might one say. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be much he can do at the moment to really help his teammates' championship bid. As Vestia has fallen right off, and we have into the pits. We have Vestia into the pits, and we have Legend into the pits. So 2 more people into the pits. And now, what are these tyres? What tyres are these guys going onto? Vestia, it is full wets for the Aston, and it will be. If Legend will stick with me, there you go. So there's Vestia, and Legend is onto intermediates. So we have more people now onto wet tyres. As Hakusaki has got past RTB, clearly struggling, and these guys got one more lap after this to... Oh no, Jinner's pitting early. Jinner has not quite fulfilled his function. Unless I read it wrong, I don't think he's quite fulfilled the minimum tyre requirement. Let me double check. So it must do the minimum 1 flying lap, out lap, fly lap, in lap. Jinner, you haven't quite done that one. R2B has stayed out, so R2B is safe, but Jinner, yeah, unless he goes back onto his inters at a later date, which I don't think he will, might be in a wee bit of trouble. Jinner now onto the hard tyres, and he will be going onwards. There's quite a few laps on those, I think, but Jinner has misread it. He's only done out lap and has done the full requirement. R2 Beat has, so R2 Beat in the clear, but before you get overtaken by Jinner on those hard tyres. The Legend has clicked inters. Vestia has picked full wet. So then, to be fair, if you do have that tyre difference, it's definitely a way you can overtake them. You think about that, that's definitely a way you can overtake them. Okay, now up the line, lap 8, but he's 1.3 seconds over Reflection. Reflection is absolutely flying. Those soft tyres have died, and the mediums are now the superior tyre. Reflection now looking to close onto the back as Equaz himself comes into the pits. So a second pass into the pits. So a second is first of the day, but it has to be second. Equaz into the pit box. It is inters for Equaz, and Lewis Avani as well into the pits. What will he go on to? Which tyre? It is full wets for Lewis Avani. People are going quite early onto their wetter tyres. So Lewis Avani out into the sunlight on the full wets who come up to the head of Hakusaki. RTB can pick this lap. He has done the requirements. He's done an out lap, front lap, and an in lap for RTB into the pits. And he is all safe to go on to another set of tyres. It'll probably be slicks for him as he wheels it out of the way. Bestia has been overtaken by Legend. Not a surprise there, given one's on into and one's on full wets, none of which are particularly great in these conditions, but you have to go with what the hand is done. So Bestia, now they're going to have to wait. They've got another couple of laps to go before they can hit. Their final lap now, so they can put the end of the next lap. Lewis and Riley has a little while to go on those full wets. Jenna in, and yes, RTB onto some slick tyres. He is very close to getting lapped because Kieran and Reflection are flying around the last corner now, and RTB is just coming out the pit lane. As Kieran really trying to break the toe there, did not want Reflection to get any kind of DRS assistance. In fact, they might see the pink Alpine of RTB just up the road, but RTB now on tyres that will last hopefully a little better than his tyres. The Stars into the pits in the McLaren. Are we going to continue the trend? Yes, those are wet tyres coming out for the McLaren. So he is onto a set of the full wets, and we have as well Liam, who's only done a handful of laps on those mediums, thought he would have gone longer, but he's going for full wets. So everyone is picking their wet tyres to get out of the way nice and early. Not a surprise, to be honest. So, yep, into the pits they all come. Kieran still holding off Reflection for now, so Kieran doing a good job in the... he said Aston Martin. In the Williams, it is a Williams, I do know it's a Williams, but he surely is going to be a matter of if not when not if, Reflection blasts past him. They do have the Alpine RTB just up the road, but he will not be getting blue flags just yet. Reflection keeping a close watch on the back of the Williams, but nothing shaping up for a move yet. He's okay from behind his Reflection, no risk really of being caught by Gady that much at the moment. But if Kieran's pace falls off a cliff, then that could be a much bigger issue for the Mercedes driver. As he pushes on, is they either going to pit or they're happy with their softs, they're happy with their slick tyres. So onwards they go to lap 10 for Kieran. So good job from him. Legend, I believe, can now come off of these inters, which I'm sure he'll be very relieved to hear. Styles has got a long way to go. Vessier can come off of his wets. Adina could come off his hards if he wanted to, but I somehow don't think he's going to want to. Ginger Rage gets past Hings. Hings having a slight issue there perhaps, because he's shunning from behind Ginger Rage. Ginger Rage up to P4. He's never been this high, he's probably got no clue. Reflection, is he going to make the move on Kieran? Yes, he does. Goes up the inside into turn 5, slight lock up. The Williams might try and do the undercut, but the Williams I think knows it probably hasn't got much more he can do against that. Mercedes tyres are just so much better on that car. He's going to keep fighting though, but I don't think there's much he can do to stem the tide. No, they cannot. Legend of the pits, he has fulfilled his quota. Yes, out lap, fly lap, in lap. Someone might want to call Equaz. Oh no, Equaz has to do. No, yeah, he has to do one more lap. I thought Equaz has done one too many laps. He is not. I was wrong. Vessier has completed his time as well, so Vessier, well done to him. He's finished his stint, and Lewis and Riley, one more lap to go for him. So just Gino at the moment, who's failed to actually properly adhere to the rules, to the shock of no one. He said, "Yeah," goes, "Oh, why do you hate me? I don't hate you, Gino. You just, you just don't follow the rules, you know." I'm joking. Reflection coming now down. He is the race leader. Pulled well clear of Kieran already. Kieran not in DRS range, and KD looking on quite happily. Probably licking his lips in a not a weird way, but licking his lips at the thought of getting on to the back. And in time of the pits comes Kieran. Kieran has called it down those softs. He's done very well to get them this far into the race. They did well. They got in the lead, but the lead has been lost. So it's time to cut his losses, and the Alaskan Williams Racing crew will get to work on his car very shortly. And the bits he's going for the full wets, so Kieran onto the full wets. He's getting his full wets out of the way. Jay Hings on his set of softs. What's he going to do? Full wets. So everyone is going to get their wet tyres out of the way. So that is good for them. They'll filter it out and they'll have to do a few laps. Of course, very treacherous in these conditions of dry tyres on a dry track with wet tyres. Some of the most treacherous conditions in the world, clearly. If this was a real life race, the FIA would have red flagged it years ago. So just now the top 7 are yet to pit. legend has just popped himself out ahead as Equaz pits onto a set of full wets. Equaz really going all the way. He's broken the trend. Most people have gone from wet to dry. He's gone from wet to wet. So Equaz wants to get his wet tyres really out of the way. Lewis Valley completed his stint. A very good job for him. And he will now go back onto tyre of his choice. Will he potentially now go onto a set of inters? Or no, they look slicks to me. They are now the hard tyres. So Lewis Valley onto the hards, which will see him to quite a lengthy stint here for the Aston Martin. Equaz on those full wets, so he is trying to get them all out of the way. Now, we'll give Equaz this, he's very quick, but his strategy hasn't always been his strong suit. This could, however, be quite the call from the house driver, because he now doesn't have to worry. He can go to the pits in a couple of laps' time and just bolt on slick tyres to the end of the race. He doesn't have to worry about it. It's Liam really falling down, being overtaken by those who have pitted onto slick tyres. Liam can pit the end of this lap. He has completed his quota of laps. Equaz, he's getting it all out of the way, which is going to be difficult. It's going to be painful, because he is probably going to be lapped by Reflection. Let's give him a little pit lane here. Less Reflection himself tries to pit. Reflection has actually lapped Lewis O'Reilly. Is he going to think he's being lapped? Is he going to think he's lagged out? He thinks he's lagged out. Oh, there's a yellow flag. We have a yellow flag in sector 2. It's Jinnah! Shock hover. Jinnah. Jinnah round on the Anderson Bridge. And he has got going again. What does he have any wing damage? The game will not tell me. He's not trying to. It's not showing me. Can I have a look? Okay. Looks like the front. No, he's all good. Well, he's got no front wing damage that I can visibly see, but yeah, he's spun it. Stars into the pit scared, so he's done the stint on the full wets. He's done his time. Liam as well has completed his time, and into the pits he comes. Also at risk of being lapped. Stars in, Liam is in. What tyres do they go on to? Who knows? Because quite literally, it is a lottery. 6 mediums for Styles, and for Liam, it is hard tyres for the Ferrari driver. So, looking pretty strong at the moment. They've done a little bit. They've done a bit of damage, and now they can go on slick tyres. Right, looks like he's trying to unlap himself from the Mercedes of Reflection, which is probably annoying Reflection a bit, because I know for a fact that the lap cars can be rather irritating. Marsky is here with Russian fighting. Marsky still going on those soft tyres. He's up and Liam still taking a penalty for crossing an exit white line. Which is probably quite hard. Well, it's not hard, but it's probably quite easy to do if you're on full wet tyres on the front track. So Marsky holding on, but he is on tyres that are excruciatingly old, as Haku Saku picks up 2 seconds for making up his own track. Marsky again under full. Somehow keeping going on those soft tyres, but I'm surprised he has not yet called it a day and slipped into a set of more comfortable tyres for the longer stint. So at the moment it is just Lewis O'Reilly, Stars and Liam have all been lapped by Reflection. Of course, Reflection yet to pit and he's yet to do his time on the harder tyres, or the worse tyres I should say, although he's going to get DRS from O'Reilly, which I'm sure he'll be quite happy about actually, because it does keep him pedalling along just a little bit, just help him extend again a little bit to KD. Not that it needs it, it's about 4 seconds. So Reflection comfortable at the moment, but his main rival Kieran has pitted onto a set of wets. He has, or is trying to get that out of the way. Jay Higgins and him can both pit at the end of this lap if they want to, or they probably will want to. They'll pit at the end of this lap to complete their stint on the full wets. Reflection continuing on, though, braving it on. He's about to probably get caught by Hungry Stars in a minute, so he's probably going to unlap himself. And I'm sure that Liam will not be too far behind despite his penalty. As Vintage has passed Marsky, and if I'm Marsky, I'm probably quitting sooner rather than later, because those soft tyres are probably very, very, very dead. I thought Marsky might run to the other side. Nope, he thinks better of it. Vintage continues on, and he'll look to chase after Mushroom. He's the only driver who is on the hard tyres on which he started. The other hard runner had to pit. So Vintage on the hard tyres, so he can go quite long. Marsky's in. Now what is Marsky going to go on to? He doesn't have a clear track behind him. He's not going to come up in traffic necessarily. So he is going on to a new front wing and full wet tyres. So yes, full wets looking the way to go. People want to get them out of the way nice and early. Kieran as well will be pitting at the end of this lap to try and go onto he can put on the end of this lap. Yes, into the pits comes Kieran. He was one of the contenders for fighting for the lead of the race. So what will he go on to now? Jay Higgins is also more than welcome to pit as well this lap. He's completed his mandatory 3 laps. Kieran into the pit lane, quite a way to go for him in the Williams box. course, Kieran is going to go on to, it looks like, hose hard. They are. Hard tyres for Kieran, so he will be back on the second tyres. Jay Hings going on the inter, so Jay Hings is also trying to get his wet tyre quota out of the way nice and early. Very nicely done. Reflection has been unlapped, Hungry Stars has unlapped himself from Reflection. Which is why they're given the tyre difference. And again, Reflection's going to get a nice healthy dose of DRS, which I'm sure he won't be too upset about. No, he is just about to come across his teammate. So that's going to be fun. And Equaz has also got a lap down. But he again has got his wet tyres out of the way. And I'm sure he will be back onto the back of Reflection sooner rather than later. So Equaz is last and Reflection is first. That could be a massive shift in the championship, but Reflection still has a lot of pain to go through. Keeping on the back of Styles, but Styles has just unlapped himself and will probably hoping to get past Jay Hings pretty quickly because Hings is on those inters. Legend has passed Marsky. There's not much of a fight for the Troy. Troy is on full wet tyres and that is not going to give him much grip against a freshly shod medium tyre runner. So good job there from Marsky just to make sure there isn't any contact between the two of them. He's on his out laps, we've got a little bit to go yet on those full wet tyres, which I'm sure he's loving life right now on these tyres. So Vestiaire is pushing on. So Vestiaire looking to try to get some more points as well. Shout out as well to Lewis and Mike, keeping going after a couple of incidents earlier in the race. He's still going, and that's what we like to see in ALR. We like to see people just keeping going and pushing on no matter what the race throws at them. Styles things as well on those inters. So we only have a couple of drivers on the wet tyres. Reflection is yet to pit. He's about to come up to the back of his teammate, who he's about to probably lap. Pits. No, Reflection continues on. He'll blast straight past his teammate, who does not resist much. Not that he could resist really, but he does not resist at all the allure of his teammate, shall we say, if that's the right thing to say. Who knows? So Reflection is continuing on. KD though is in the pits in the V car. So what is KD going to go on to? It's going to be interesting to see. His line of thought is it looks like those are slick tyres. And he's got a 10-second penalty to serve, so they can get that out of the way as well. They go Ginger Age up to P2, dear God. KD pits, what's he going to go on to? It's slick tyres, it is another set of mediums. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, you can just go on to another set of the same tyre. You know, you know, it's quite a long race. I guess he does want to try and get these, you know, make some semblance of strategy. So KD back out on a set of fresh medium tyres. He is very clear of Legend. Quite a massive gap there, but Legend will catch up over the course of the pit stop. Marsky has got one more lap to do on these full wet tyres, and then he can pit, as does Jay Hings. So Reflection has pitted. Reflection has not pitted. KD is pitted, but Reflection nearly has a pit stop clear to Ginger Rage in the background. So. Not quite, but I'm sure he'll be thinking about it, especially if there is a safety car. He is clear. If not, I'm sure it will be too long before he's clear of the Red Bull, who is doing extremely well as Kieran starts lap of the race. So Kieran flying on those fresh set of hard tyres. In fact, he's just overtaken his teammate Jinna for good measure. Did not really fight that one because he's got probably quite warm rear tyres after his spin on the Ellison Bridge earlier today. But Reflection piddling on, he's 2 seconds off his PB, so that just goes to show you how warm his tyres are. But he's still trudging on. Marsky has been overtaken by Kieran, but Marsky, happy for him, will probably be happy to know that he's hitting on this lap because he has completed his quota on those full wet tyres. He's hit there by Jinna. Jinna going up the inside. Yeah, can give him for the fight. He does. Jinna up as well into P11. So Jinna trying to push on. He does now have front wing damage. So Jinna has picked up wing damage. He's actually had a collision with the wall at a later date. But he's still pushing on. And he's looking likely to get into a top 10 at some point. He will have to pit again, obviously, to complete the quota of all 5 tyres. So that front wing damage probably isn't as bad as it would be if it was a normal race. If it was a normal race, it would be quite a detriment. But given the fact that people are going to be flying around on inters and full wets, it is not the end of the world. So Jinna stays on as Reflection is staying out. Reflection does not want to pit anytime soon, which is interesting, an interesting call. Kitty's pitted onto another set of the same tyre, which again, interesting as well. So KD is going to be flying, probably one of the fastest cars on track because of his tyres. So interesting strategies at play here. Some have got their wet tyres out of the way early, some have gone wet back to slicks, and some haven't pitted at all, which is also fair enough. Muskie in the pits, he's done his time on those full wet tyres, he's done his time on the wet tyres in general, and he'll be in for a set of the medium tyres, which will take him deeper into his race. Jay Hings has also finished his quota on the intermediates, and he's into the pits as well. Now, Jay Hings, I'm pretty sure, has done both sets of tyres. We will double check. Yes. Jay Hings, yes, he's done wets and inters. Oh, there's a pit up there for Reflection. Reflection has pitted, and he's gone onto the full wet tyres. I missed that. I was looking at other people, but Reflection pitted onto the full wet, so he has finally made a pit stop, which will give Equaz now his lap back. And he's going to come out just ahead of, no, he's just behind Ginger Rage, in fact, just behind Knowlesley, and just ahead of Serious Mushroom. But probably not going to stay ahead of Serious Mushroom very long. In fact, he is on full wet tyres, so be careful here. This is where the risk factor is. It is slicks versus wets, and the slicks win out of the position there. Reflection probably not fighting too hard. He's just trying to get those full wet tyres for the rest of the 3 laps. He does get DRS, which is a nice little gift, but it's not going to do much. He's got Vintage behind him. KD in for a set of full wets, so KD is doing a very short stint on those mediums. So he's back in for a set of the full wets. Legend's about to blast past him. So we'll see now. So Reflection's gone to full wets, which is what Kieran did earlier in the race. Kieran has now come off his full wets and gone on onto the hard tyres. So where Reflection pops out in relation to Kieran is roughly where we're going to be popping out in relation to the lead and all that good shebang. It is Vintage trying to get past the Event Mercedes as Jay Hings unlaps himself. Everyone is now back, not quite on the lead lap, but Hings is not far off getting back onto it. Reflection now has to try and keep them clan behind, but I don't think it's going to be much of a fight. Reflection does have DRS though, and Vintage not really pushing to get past. I thought Vintage would really be trying to, hassle the Mercedes, given the fact he's on slick tyres and also a quicker car in general, but not so yet being done. A little bit there. Reflection does eventually have to concede to the McLaren. He does have 2 laps to run on those full wet tyres before he can get rid of them. Ginger Rage has been overtaken by Knowlesley. Ginger Rage into the pits, so Sean in the pits. He has nearly led a lap there, so good job from him. What will he go on to? So Reflection now pushing on. He's got Legend, who's a long way behind him. Ginger Rage onto soft tyres. Ginger Rage trying to get his soft tyres out of the way, which is not a bad way at all. The soft tyres are remarkably quick, but not very long lasting. Of course, he doesn't have to take them very long if he doesn't want to. That's remarkably nice water. Wow. I might do that again at some point. Ginger Rage now on the soft tyres. He will probably catch Reflection and overtake him. Just basically, the ones on full wets and ones on slicks. So Kieran also will probably get past the everyone Mercedes. He's got one more lap to do. This is his final lap. He's got to finish his lap and go around again to do his out lap, or in lap, I should say. So interesting here. Kieran should probably get ahead of him. But there will be a little bit of a tyre offset between them. It depends what section is going to go on to next. Is it going to be softs? Is it going to be mediums? Or is it going to be hards? Maybe inters. If Reflection goes on to inters, that could be massively interesting, because Kieran only did the full wets for the 3 laps. Kieran got the inside of Haku Saku. That's a little bit of a sketchy place to do it. He does, in fact, back out from the Alpine. The Alpine goes deep. Kieran trying to go on the outside, but no, he can't quite get it done. Alpine is struggling, and Kieran goes round the outside and gets the move done. A little bit stressful there, I think, for the Williams driver. But he's through up into 7th position as Serious Russian pits himself onto a set of intermediate tyres. Akasaka is also lost his template again. Not quite sure he's done that. But Mushroom now overtaken by his teammate. So we'll check. I think we'll check at the half race distance, see what everyone has done tyre-wise. So Reflection can pit at the end of this lap. You see Ginger Rage in the background flying in. There is Sean. Sean probably quite confused how he's in P3, or we will be in P3 by the end of this lap. But good on him. Always good to see Sean up there as in that Red Bull So Reflection now, he's just got to crawl back to the pits. Of course, by this point, his full wet tyres are probably quite overheated. He is sliding, he has no grip, and he's at Singapore. I think the only cooler place to have done the challenge would have been at Monaco, but we don't do Monaco because it's terrible. So Reflection now got to ease his way back in. He has got that many corners to go. I thought he was going to head for the wall there. He's got one more. He's got a couple of straights and 4 corners after this one. Actually 5 corners. So Reflection now is going to get overtaken by Ginger Rage in the Red Bull most likely. And then he'll be in for his next set of tyres. I'm fascinated to see what his next choice is going to be. As Ginger Rage passes him, keeps well clear of the Everett Mercedes, and Ginger Rage up to P3. So nicely done from him. Legend is about 3 past Serious Mushroom on the run down this straight. Is Reflection going to come ahead of Kieran? I don't think he is, because Kieran is there and he is there. So Reflection into the pits for just about getting it into the pits, and he's in now. What is Kieran going on? What is Reflection going to go on to? Friendship protagonist Reflection doing very well. He's well clear of his title rival of Aircars, who's down in 17th. It is soft tyres for Reflection. Reflection wants to get soft tyres out of the way. He doesn't want to do another stint on wet compounds. And here comes Kieran. Kieran is going to overtake him. Even down the straight. Not quite sure what he's trying to fight there, because he's well clear of his championship rival Reflection, and Bessie. Reflection falling behind at Bessie. Yeah, so Kieran effectively the net lead of the race, technically, I guess. But again, it all depends on how it's all going to play out with the Inters and slicks later on. So Reflection now onto the soft tyres, so he's going to get probably quite a few laps out of those, and then he will pit again. And he might actually pit onto, if he can probably do 6 or 7 laps on these tyres, get to lap 30, 31, maybe he could do a set of hards to the end, although it'd be a bit of an ask for him. We don't know quite yet the full range of the hard tyres. Vintage has done 20 laps on his hard tyres. He's used them from the start. So Reflection doing well. He's holding on in there on his. He's not out of the contention yet for the race win. Knowles is pitted, so we just have one driver yet to pit. So Knowles into the pits. And what is the Kick Sauber going to put on? Because he has the longest driver for anyone. So it's right at the end of the pit lane, so that just means the shortest end of the stick in other matters. As Knowles into the pits, it's going to be the full wet tyres. So yes, everyone's going to get their full wet tyres out of the way nice and early. Ginger Rage up to P2. Look at him go. So good job there. So Reflection now brings on the back of Haku Saku. I'm sure he'll try and get past, put on the run down in towards the end of sector 1. That'll be his best bet to give him his tyre offset, and also battery and DRS and all those other bits and bobs. Reflection now onto the back of the Alpine, and I'm sure there's not be a hard take about it. He might have go for it into turn 1. No, he thinks better of it. As Legend passes Knowlesley, of course, is slithering around on a set of full wet tyres. Reflection has to get past the Alpine. He has to do it smart and bravely. He has to be careful here. Hakusaki's picking up another 3-second penalty. I think this should be a pretty straightforward overtake for Reflection. He's in the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's got the battery, he's got the tyre life. He should. Oh, Hakusaki's hit the wall. That's probably how he keeps losing game place. He's hit the wall. So Reflection up to P8, so he's got Messier up the road, and then his championship rival Kieran, who is going to get stuck behind Serious Mushroom on the intermediates. Not for that long, because Mushroom can pit at the end of this lap. But he even gets stuck behind the Red Bull potentially. He's going to go for a lunge into the hairpin. No, he's not going to think better of it. DRS open, battery burnt. Kieran's going to blast past. I think Serious Mushroom here. Oh, Mushroom comes inside. Kieran goes right around the outside. Not much of a competition when you have that level of tyre offset. Kieran up to P5. He's now going after Knowlesley, who is on full wet tyres, which is going to be just as fun to try and overtake as I saw try and overtake Serious Mushroom was. So Reflection blasting on. So just Vintage now, the only driver yet to pit, as Mushroom calls it, quits on his intermediates. So just Vintage yet to pit. Ginger Rage pitted once, Legend twice. Most people pitted twice, a couple of 3-stoppers towards the back. Mushroom has gone on to full wet, so Mushroom doing his wet tyres back to back. And then he can just run a normal strategy to the end of the race, which isn't a bad call. Those at the back of the grid tend to have done their inters and wets back to back, which is why they are so far down, because they've done like 6 laps of incredibly slow pace and also had 2 pit stops thrown in there. Not 3 technically, if you count the pit stop. Well, no, 2 pit stops. 3 pit stops. So that is why they're at the back, but they will not have to worry about wet tyres at all for the rest of the race. No safety cars yet, which is, I've probably just jinxed it now, but no safety cars yet, which is a very strong showing from the boys in that 100%, which is what you'd expect really from these guys. These guys are normally pretty damn good at this. They are used to this by now. As Reflection now closing onto the back of Vessier, there's a tyre offset there of 11 laps, and he also has really soft tyres on. So Reflection probably one of the fastest cars on track at the moment. And he's used mediums, softs, and the 4 wet tyres. So he has inters and hards yet to go. He might try to do long stick at the hards. I don't think we'll see anyone try and do 4 wets right at the end. I think it's going to be too slow and too defensive to hold in position. Vessier stuck slightly behind Knowsley there. Knowsley obviously hit his lap second fast now on the track. Knowsley has to hit this lap, but I think Vessier would have probably liked to put through the Sauber. It's a bit smoother than that. It looks like he's held up quite a bit through the last couple of corners. In fact, Knowsley probably get taken hit by the Mercedes, and he does so. So Knowsley down 2 positions. Reflection now will be pushing onto the back of Vessier as Knowsley's rear tyres squirm. Just goes to show that his rear tyres are indeed rather shot. Mushroom overtaken by Marsky as well. All these guys just trying to get these wet tyres out of the way. It's all they need to do. They need to get to the end of the stint with no wing damage, no crashing out, and they should be okay. Reflection out on the back of Vessier, which you would think would be a relatively easy overtake given the tyre difference and also the car difference. Reflection, of course, in the Mercedes, a better car than the Aston Martin. And they push down towards I think Reflection might even go for it at the next corner, not this corner of the hairpin, the next one. Open for Reflection, up towards, he's going to go for it here, no, he's going to wait a little bit longer to go for it again. But he's all over the back of the Aston Martin, he's pushing on, he's going to go up the inside, probably get the move done nice and early on the straight, to get down to the braking zone, yeah, more or less. But he's through on the Aston Martin. He will keep forging onwards on those soft tyres. Knowsley has been overtaken by Stalls, but Knowsley has done his time. He can pit whenever he would like to do so. Yeah, he's done his time. As also, I put 3 seconds for track limit violation. Lap 25 of 62, nearly a halfway distance. It's been a long one so far, as Knowsley does indeed pit. Tumbling down the order. So yeah, been a long race. 25 laps in. Still not even halfway distance to go, and quite a few pit stops left for the drivers. Vintage leads, but he's yet to pit. He's been reeled in by Ginger Rage, who could once again take the lead here in Singapore. Which again, as I said, very good, very impressive for Sean. Good on him. Reflection has to push on now. He's 10 seconds behind the guy he was fighting with at the start of the race, Kieran. He was ahead of him, and now he's 10 seconds behind him. Both still with inters to use, as well as the set of mediums for Kieran, hards for Reflection. So we do have a while to go, and to be fair, Kieran is probably not going to be pitting anytime soon, given he's on those hard tyres. He'll probably be taking them for at least 10-15 laps. Yeah, at least 10-15 laps, maybe slightly less, probably closer to 10 now. As Vintage starts lap 26 and 62, at lap 31 I will go through the race director, get us all up to date with who is on what, who's pitted onto what, who's used up their tyres, who's done what they need to do, and who has to bear a bit of pain. Reflection has passed Vessier, he's done a good job of that, but he has not yet dropped the Aston. In fact, the Aston is still right behind, not right behind, but still quite close to the Mercedes. He's getting some nice, useful laps of DRS. Here is Reflection, has a nice slide around the final corner, and that's maybe a sign his soft tyres perhaps starting to struggle a little bit. Someone whose soft tyres aren't struggling yet is Ginger Rage, and he is closing onto the back of Vintage. As I said, Vintage yet to pit, I think at this point gambling on a safety car. So Ginger Rage onto the back of the McLaren, not quite yet, but he's close enough. A lot of people have fuel lights warnings Rage does. Saku does. Oh, Saku does the bits. Knowsley doesn't. And Marsky, of course, does, because it's Marsky. He knows. Haku Saku onto the full wet tyres, so he will do his time in the summer of the full wets. Ginger Rage struggling. He's lost a load of time in Sector 2. He's still got a full front wing. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Ginger Rage. He's lost second in Sector 2. I thought he was about to go for the lead here, and he's lost a bunch of time. Even though soft tyres starting to hit a cliff already. Yeah, he's sliding a lot. Ginger Rage, maybe the soft tyres starting to burn up. Vintage is finally into the pits. So Vintage, last driver yet to do a pit stop, is now into the pits. Wonder where he will go on. He's done 25 laps on those hard tyres. It's a very good, nice stint done. It looks like it is into for full wets. It is intermediates for Vintage. And he should pop out probably around Reflection and Vestiaire. So, Reflection now pops himself up to P4. The car will be on his left. Indeed, yes, Vintage falls out behind Vestiaire and Reflection, but he will come out just every teammate, so I'm sure he will not hold up much at all. As the Legend has been passed by Kieran. Kieran in the Williams, he is pushed up the grid. He is flying up there, is Kieran, and he's got a long way to go on those hard tyres, so at the moment he's looking pretty solid set on for potential victory here, but obviously a long way to go, and I will not jinx it, as I normally do in the commentary box. Knowsley, fastest man on track, 34.5 for the Kick Sauber. So Knowsley pushes out there. He has done his time on full wet tyres, he's done his time on the wet conditions, and he can now keep pushing to the end of the race. Mushroom has, I think, done a lap too many on his full wet tyres. Yeah, I think he did a lap too many, because normally you put the end of lap 2, not lap 3. Mushroom into the pits, and he's done his time on both tyre compounds. I wonder now what he will be going on to. He will go a lap down to his teammate. Hard tyres for Serious Mushroom. So he is he's doing, got a long way to go in this stint. He's not going to come out, to be fair, too far behind his teammates, so he could probably get that lap back. So Serious Mushroom out of the pits, into the nice cold Marina Bay sky, where he's going to come out just ahead of Kieran, but not by much. He could get some blue flags for that. Vestiaire has passed Reflection. Reflection already back into the pits. He did not last long on those soft tyres. What is Reflection going to go onto? He did full wets. Is he going to do into? Legend is fitted as well onto full wets, and it is intermediate for Reflection. So he's going to do into. And I think we'll do a set of hards to the end of the race. We have a very good tie deficit as well for the cars of Madam. Jenna is in it as well. Jenna, what is he going to go on to? He does, Jenna, have to technically do another stint on inters because he didn't quite fill his quota at the start of the race. I did the laps he needed. What tyres is he going on to? Full wets for Jenna. I thought we'd do it down full wets, but he has some intermediates and a front wing change as well for good measure. Jay Higgins picks up another 3-second penalty for making up his own Marina Bay circuit. Ginger Rage pedalling on, but he's been caught right not by Kieran. In fact, he has talked about accident at that corner. He was boosted. Just going to show you how not great that was for the Red Bull driver. He's been caught hand over fist very quickly by Kieran, who's left Vestiaire for dust. So Ginger Rage in the Red Bull does have some different tyres to go on to. He's done quite a few laps so far, and he's in the bits. Ginger Rage into the bits. He will relinquish his lap back to Mushroom. Well, not quite. Mushroom has been lapped by Kieran as well. Both the drivers having their warning lights on for fuel. Maybe some. I'm not expecting the track to, or expecting a safety car or stoppage, but there's still plenty of time for Ginger Rage onto intermediates. Pass bar to beat on softs, and Ginger Rage onto intermediates. He should come out probably just ahead of Lewis O'Reilly, who's climbed his way back up. But of course, given the nature of this wild card, which all 5 tyre compounds have to be used, it's very difficult to try and gauge who's what and who's where. Mostly because, well, you know, it's very difficult to work out who's going to lose that much time on what tyre. Ginger Rage out in the intermediates. That's 29 of 62. It's a bit quiet out there at the moment. So we'll have a look So the top 3 have all used wets. Rage has done inters. Lewis has done wets. RTB has done wets. Vintage has done inters. Legend is the first driver to have done both of his wet tyre compounds. So Legend on them has done inters and wets. So he is done after this wet tyre compound. Same now, obviously, for Reflection. And as well for Equaz. So we do have a few drivers at the moment who have done both. As Kieran has... Why is he... I can't tell why he ghosted. Is he lagged out? He's a ghost, but I see no reason why he should be a ghost. This is really confusing me. How much does Vestia close in? Vestia is closing in a lot, so I think Kieran may have lagged out the session here. Yeah, he's going very slow. So Vestia now has a chance to really... He's getting hand over fist on the Williams driver, who is not in the lobby anymore. That is unfortunate. I don't think I have him as a friend. No, I don't. Hopefully you can get back in. If not, Kieran, you need to send me from the best as soon as you can, because he is lagged out. Don't know what's happened, but he's I'm not saying that back home from Monday. That was my own connection. I knew that. But yeah, not great connection for people at the moment. And Kieran, the longer he can't get in, the longer he is losing out to not only Vestia but the other drivers around him. His AI is running very cautiously. So Vestia now off the back of Hakisaku, who's back on the side. His time is Vestia looks likely to take the lead of the Singapore Grand Prix. Stars is fighting with Hakisaku's AI, or not AI, his lap car. Looks like trying to back himself back up, but does have penalties to his name. KD's got past the Legend. Reflection is going to put the end of this lap off those into them. He will be done then for wet tyre compounds for the rest of the evening. So Reflection is done. Hungry Stars into the pits here as well. Onto Inters. They look like they are intermediates for him, and Hakisaku's AI is, well, Hakisaku himself is not AI, he's not AI. Hakisaku isn't actually perfect. Ginger Rage starts his final lap on his intermediates, and he can pit onto. I don't want to like jinx him, and I don't want to like hype him up too much. But I am suspecting a Ginger Rage podium. I think there's a chance we could have a Ginger Rage podium here. It looks like Kieran has got back into the lobby. That's good. But he has lost a lot of time there. But I do think. I mean, he's got no fuel, but Ginger Rage podium may be on the cards. I'm just putting it out there. If I jinx you, Sean, I apologise, but I am putting it out into the world. You know, I just feel it. So Kieran continues on. Reflection into the pits, onto hard tyres. So Reflection now. He has, I believe, done all 5 tyre compounds. Legend has. Reflection now has. Yes, Reflection has completed all 5 tyre compounds. And he can continue on. Jinna as well, I think, will be on his way to completing 5 tyre compounds. Although he has to go to a set of mediums now. Which he does now. So, we are seeing people now finishing their time on the, finishing their requirements. Although Jinna didn't complete his requirement earlier in the race, that will be referred to the stewards, I am sure. So Reflection now, P15, what can he do? His jumping rival Equaz is P10, but he has done a long time on those hard tyres. So that is one thing that Reflection has going for him. He does have a nice tyre offset to cars around him. And the Qatar cars he's fighting. Ginger Rage comes into the pits. He's done his time on the intermediates. I think it's going to be the hardest for Ginger Rage. Ginger Rage will go to the end of the race on the hard tyres. So I'll wait another about 10 or 15 laps, and then we'll go through just to double check who has done what. But a lot of people with fuel lights flashing could have A few issues here for some drivers with fuel, which I'm sure not many people were expecting us to say. Fuel issues. This race can be decided on it, which kind of makes me hope for at least a virtual safety car, just so that we can have someone certainly try to make it to the end without running out of fuel. Or there's going to have to be some serious lifting and coasting happening towards the end of the race. Haku Saku picks up 3 seconds for making up his own track. We've got a yellow flag. It could be in fact for Haku Saku. It is for Haku Saku. Haku Saku has gone round on his intermediate tyre. He's not going to do them. Make them even more undrivable. He has no front wing. I'm surprised it wasn't a virtual. I'm surprised he didn't get a virtual for that, although he's just classed. I don't know how he's implied, but yeah, that is not great for Haku Saku. Be careful now to get back to the base. Intermediate tyres are quite warm, so if I'm I'm keeping an eye on him because I don't want him to crash on purpose. But we could have that could be a potential safeguard which could undo people like Reflection, who obviously probably rather they didn't have one anytime soon, just for the fact that he's going to lose a lot of time to the cars around him. I'm going to keep an eye on Haku Saku just to make sure he doesn't crash on purpose. If he locks up and goes into the wall, so be it. But I did look a bit suspicious going into turn 3, if you'd ask me. Not everyone is, but I think I'm important at some regard. Haku Saku, unfortunately for him, it's not been in the race he would have wanted. Nolsey's into the pits, so he has done his time on the soft tyres. Not that long. Soft tyres are not lasting at all here in Marina Bay, which is definitely something to keep an eye on for later in the race if someone's being forced to go to softs. Oh, that is. How has his car not exploded? How has Haku Saku's car not died? Like, he's hit that wall several times and with quite strong force. How is he not? And he's missed a bit. Okay, well, it won't be a safe car at least. Which I'm sure Kieran would be disappointing because he would have definitely helped him. Yellow flag is set to one is for Haku Saku's AI, who is well out of the way, and he is done for this evening's proceedings. We are just over halfway through the Singapore Grand Prix, not Korea. We're close, we're close, but not quite there in that part of the world. Reflection now keeping onwards and upwards. He's got Liam up ahead. He's got Knowsley. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Legend and Liam. Both of him will get past Knowsley, who's doing his time on intermediates. Yeah, it's rather unfortunate for Knowsley. Well, it's unfortunate for Legend and Liam because they're both now going to get stuck behind a slow-moving car. Probably one of the worst parts of the track. You want to get stuck behind them. Coming down into... I thought it might be a lunge there, cheeky little lunge. RTB into the pits off those hard tyres. And KD picks up a 3-second time penalty for track limit in violations. So Knowsley is passed by Legend with relative ease, no surprise there. Liam is missing a good chunk of his front wing there, to be honest. That's quite impressive he's lost that much of his front wing. We have Marsky as well into the pits for the Inters. So the Alpine and the Ferrari, and we have Styles who's done his time on the Inters, who he himself has gone on to accept the fight to lead him through to the end of the race. We've got quite a bit of spacing out at the moment. Liam and Nolsey are 2 closest cars on track, but that's pretty much only because Nolsey's on intermediates. So while we do, I'm just going to pop to the little boys' room just to relieve myself because this is a long race. I'll be back shortly. Right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Liam is still not past Knowlesy, despite the fact Knowlesy is on intermediates. Let's get on to Inters himself. So we do have a few drivers on the Inters at the moment. Kieran continues to extend the lead up front. Liam struggles to get traction down and can get passed here by Reflection up the inside, side by side. Given, but it is through. With DRS. Reflection does not know how to save battery to save his life. So Reflection through, he's now Knowlesy up ahead and Mask as well. So we've got two Inter runners up the road. Vestier on his Inters. So he's going to get passed by Ray and Equad, or Equad's been quite old hard tyres himself. So I'm definitely looking at probably the top two coming in fairly soon. If they've got medium to go onto, at least definitely in Kieran's case, so you probably want to do, well, even laps, yeah, probably about another 3 or 4 laps for Kieran. He'll go into his final set of tyres and then get a set of medium to the end of the race. So there's that. Reflection passes Knowlesy, so Reflection up as well into 11th, and I'm sure he'll be passing Marsky shortly, and R2B is not that far up the road as well, so R2B only has 1 more lap to do on his intermediate tyres before he can call it a day. So yeah, lap 36.62, Kieran has a commanding lead out front, but still with a set of the intermediates to come as well as the mediums. So he's got to lose at least another minute of time in pit. Sean's picked up a 3-second penalty for track limit incursion. Sean, unfortunately you can get a podium, don't you dare start messing this up by turning off the track. But yeah, Kieran continues to pull out a nice healthy lead out the front. Lewis O'Reilly has had a fantastic comeback to P3. KD as well, making his strategy work. Vestier on the Inters, he's going to have Equaz all over his posterior. Ginger Rage showing very well in that Red Bull, even though he does have a fuel light on. But most people do at this point, so there's no surprise there. So that's 37.62, which means you have 25 laps to go, crikey. I mean, if I'm struggling to keep through this, imagine how the drivers are feeling. They're doing this lap after lap. Just panning around the Marina Bay street circuit. Ooh, that was close for Reflection again. Looking at the back of Hings. Legend on much pressure tyres. And Hings has gone a little deep into that corner. I think give Legend all the impetus he needs to get a good run out of the front corner. Got battery, he's got DRS. Hings is going to cover the front, cover the inside, but not enough. Legend trying to go up the inside. Hings is trying to hold it around the outside. There's a little bit of contact, a little bit of tyre rubbing. The Mercedes is forced to go off the track, but he has to concede ultimately to the Haas, who does squeeze his way through. So well done there to Legend up to P7. He's now going to chase after Ginger Rage, who himself is after chasing after Vestier. Of course, they're taken by Equaz. So, there's a of 62. I probably expect him to be in quite shortly. That is, of course, Kieran out front, although he's flying away from Lewis O'Reilly. Lewis O'Reilly not having any answer for the Williams driver. Remarkably impressive driving here from Kieran in the Williams. So, very good job from him. Should be very proud of his pace so far. But as I said, still has those Inters to go, and that is going to cost him a load of time, especially considering there are those that have already finished. Those that have already done all 5 compounds are... Let me just note. Legend. So Legend first of the runners who've done all of the compounds. Reflection has done all the compounds. Styles has done all the compounds. Jinner has done all the compounds. Well, apart from the Inters, because he didn't do enough laps on them. And R2 Beat has done all of the compounds. Knowlesy and Marsky as well. Let me double check the Jinners. Yeah, he did an outlap and a flying. Oh, maybe he did. No, he did an outlap on the hards. Everyone else has done 3 laps on outlap, flying lap, in lap. Yeah. So Jinner did not complete his 3 laps. Looks like the bits for his intermediate, so he will get those inters now on. Vestier has done his inters, so he's back into the pits. Vestier. It's going to have a little bit of a tyre offset to Reflection. Not lots, but a little bit of tyre offset. So Vestier could definitely be one to watch as we go into this with a nice tyre delta to the cars around him. Jay Hings into the pits. He's done quite a long time on those medium tyres, so very well done to Jay Hings. He'll be heading on to a set of the hard tyres. So So Jay Hings now onto the hard tyres, and I believe that will be him done for the day. Have a look at the strategy of the stops completed. Yes, Jay Hings is done. So yes, there is Legend, first driver on 4 stops. If they've done 4 stops, they have done all the stops required to complete today's challenge. Of course, for those who are just joining us potentially, all 5 tyre compounds must be in use, and that includes inters and wets, even though we have neither, even though it is clear skies. Kieran continues to fly along. He's about to lap his own teammate of Jinnah, or Jinnah just lapped himself one way or another. He is on the back of his teammate. Jay Hings picks up another 3 seconds. We will put up the penalty just to have a little looky. 3 seconds for KD, Rage and O'Reilly. Same for Styles and Vestiaire. 19 for Liam, so that's 3 track limits and 1 10-second, and 9 for Hings. So some impressive penalties racked up there from Hings and Liam, but still a way to go in this race before. So a lot can change, a lot can shake out. So Lewis and Riley P5 on those intermediates. He's been passed by Ginger Rage and Legend. Not near wise of way. Neither is Reflection, but I don't think Reflection will catch Lewis and Riley by the end of his interstint. I think Kieran here is in the driver's seat. He's got medium tyres still to come. He's got inters and mediums, so he's got another 2 stops and he's got to do intermediates, which will lose him at least about 15-20 seconds. But he'll then have medium tyres to the end of the race, which will probably do quite nicely, to be honest. You probably pit for mediums. I think Prey said he'd pit for mediums around lap 42 to 44. So if you want his inters now, he's right within the window back onto the mediums for the end of the race. So that is a really strong strategy there from Kieran. He has proven some really good races. RTB is the fastest man on the track, 34.1. So his times are tumbling. Fuel is being lifted off, and the track is getting naturally faster. It is evolving, and the drivers as well, getting more and more content. Only one DNF, Hakusaki, unfortunately, pitting quit after losing his front wing. So he is unfortunately the only retirement, but everyone else has done well. We've lost a few vote wings. You know, some vote wings have unfortunately passed away. But yeah, we have had everyone else continue going on and doing a very good job of it. So well done to everyone who's keeping going. It is very tiring, this track. Longest track on the calendar in terms of race distance, naturally race distance. And of course we're having more pit stops, and you have to do the extra concentration of inters and full wets on a dry track. So yeah, quite stressful, one would think. But still, they are all pounding around out there apart from one. So good job to all of our drivers as always. Next week we are racing at has only done 1 lap on his inters. He has not completed his quota. We might have another being handed out. We should both do out lap, flying lap, and then in lap. We've done at least 3 times next day, and he has not done that. So Lewis O'Reilly will have to go on to the inters again, unless he wants a penalty to his name. Next week we are at Texas, which is actually a normal race. There's no wildcards. Wow, how do we do it? Not good Brazil full wet race. It's fun. Of course, the season finally is double points. So that's fun. Kieran is finally in, 27 laps on his hard tyres, and he has finally called it a day. It is the inters he'll be going on to. Not a surprise there. Given the speed he's been showing, he can pit, come out, and pit off his inters and still be ahead of KD. Come out of pits, of course. He's got a nice gap behind him. He has some nice track straight around him. KD's not even down the start finish line yet. Good pace there from Kieran. Equaz as well, he'll have to pit again. Stuart Intervention is lurking in the background there, menacingly as always from Sean. I'm going to remind myself who needs to do what out the top lot. So Kieran has got mediums to go on to. KD has got to do inters and softs. Equaz has got to do mediums, so Equaz can pit whenever he'd like from this point onwards. Sean has wets to, oh geez, Sean's got still got 4 wets to do. Okay, maybe a Sean podium is a bit too fanciful. maybe it's a bit too strong in my faith there that Ginger Veg will be able to get a podium. Vestiaire though is all over the back of Hungry Styles on those fresh medium tyres. Although again there'll be quite a distance for them to go, but not entirely impossible. Vestiaire on the back of the McLaren, digging for another 3 seconds on 12 second penalty now. Vestiaire up the inside, he can get the move down the McLaren, he can keep it stick, he can. Vestiaire up to 7. It's a good tyres compared to everyone else. So Vestiaire one to watch. To be fair, Reflection could always pit on the last step mediums, but I don't think he's going to really want to. We're quite done with it there, to be honest. We'll do the gap to the leader. The gap to the leader is 41 seconds, so as things stand, Reflection will be not beating Kieran as things stand, especially as Kieran starts mediums to go. Kieran does have another full lap to do. He's got to do this lap and the doing push lap now. Yeah, so we're going to pit the end of the next lap. So the gap to Reflection is coming down. He does need it probably closer to the 30-second mark. He's got to find 10 seconds in pretty much a lap. And although his rival is on intermediate tyres, that does seem like quite an article in picking up more penalties for his troubles. As Vestiaire fast enough track 33.7. Wow, one lap there from Vestiaire, but I do somewhat question his tyre's ability to get to the end of the race. Lap 40 of 60, 20 laps to go in this race. Kieran continues to lead. He's on intermediate tyres, but he's still flying around. He's got to do one more lap. Kieran knows the rules. So Kieran has done the final lap on his now. Bit in this lap for the medium tyre to take a break onto the end of this race without much of a doubt. The gap interval to Reflection. It is coming down, but not, I don't think, quick enough to Duray to pass Equars as well. Well done to Sean. Again, strong pace. He does have full wet tyres to jump onto at some point, and he also doesn't have much fuel. That's double trouble. So gap is coming down. I mean, look, KD's only gained about 3 seconds so far, and Kieran's on into. So that just shows you the pace that Kieran has, regardless this evening. And I think it's going to be a very difficult one to try and beat. He was only just pipped to pole position by. Oh, at the end of the fact, we have a safety car. Safety car is out. What the hell? Liam has crashed. Liam has crashed. Where has he done that? He's done that, I think, down the escape road of turn 5. I've completely missed that. That is going to save Kieran's bacon like no tomorrow. It means he can pit now off those inters onto his medium tyre. It does mean that everyone else behind him can pit as well. Was anyone a lap down? No, Vintage is just ahead, but I'm sure Kieran will pit. So don't think we're going to lap cars in this quite good. This helps Kieran, this helps KD. Doesn't really help Sean. Sean probably did not want to safety car. I mean, he can do his full wets and then pit off them, but he's going to fall right down to the back of the ditch. So, surprisingly, Kieran is in. Look at folks, it is one pit stop per safety car rival. If you're listening, one pit stop per safety car. So you lose the one pit stop and that's it. But Kieran's in, KD's in. Sean is what I want to see if he comes in. That's going to be fascinating to see. So, I can flip. Is Sean going to pit? Yes, he is. What are you going to do? Question. Equars is coming in. I think they will come in. Apart from Legend is staying up. So yeah, KD goes on to his intermediates. Legend is sticking out. Is anyone else going to pit? Reflection's coming in. He's got a nice new set off the medium tyre. Sean does indeed go onto his full wets. Vestiaire is coming in as well. Quick again. I think most people are going to go onto the new set of the medium tyres just because it is just going to help them get to the end in a much quicker manner. And if you do have a bit of a decision there from Lewis O'Reilly. Oh no, he's made a very last minute decision to dive into the pit lane. Jinner is sticking it out, so Jinner will blast himself round onto the start finish straight, but he will be under a lot of stress from the other drivers. Where's he going to come out in constant reflection? Is that clear of the Mercedes driver? So mostly mediums for those that have pitted. Inters for KD, wets for Sean, just to get those tyres out of the way. So these guys got to do this lap. So that 44, they got to do 49. They come at the end of lap 46. And given the fact this field is so spread out, it isn't entirely possible to imagine that they could do pretty much their entire stint under the safety car. So here we go, lap 44.62. People are still catching up the safety car. Not many people have caught up. Vintage is now pitted, so this is going to be a full safety car. So I think KD and Ginger Rage might be in the shout, be able to, you know, blast around on these inters and wets and be able to come back in while the safety car is still out. They've got to do this lap and then pit the end of the next lap. So they have to pit the end of lap 46, which normally when the safety car is going to come in, but given the fact Vintage is still not even in Sector 3 yet, and these guys have exited Sector 1, Valley is pitted onto inters. Is that to commend the fact he didn't actually complete his second? Yes, that's because he didn't actually do his interstint properly. So well on Lewis Valley, he has come back in. He's going to do his interstint properly. Very commendable from him. Jinner, you have not done it properly, and therefore you are committing second to your family. KD has to do one more lap on the inters, as does Sean. And that is stay out, do not pit KD. Stay out. For you, Sean. Okay, good. So those guys are pitting out at the end of the next lap. Where is Vintage in relation to the safety car queue? Jesus Christ, he's catching up, but it's going to be a little while yet. Looks like a lot of fuel actually out, so that's good. So we should have people generally getting in with like decent fuel apart from Vintage, who's still on the fuel. That's what people want to pelt around the track at 200 miles an hour. That's what I'm thinking. I still think it could be done. I mean, he's got his full wet tyres out of the way. Legend is on old tyres. Jinner's on old tyres. But he's going to full wet back again. That is the so far at the beginning of that. And he's as does so he's going to promote Jinner Equines onto the podium. Jinner up to P4 on the section P5. And Kieran's very lucky, he's got a legend behind him, effectively have a legend behind him. He's probably going to be very good at being a bit of a, you know, a bit of a doorstop given he's on quite old hard tyres. This is helping Kieran quite a bit. is this your integer, because I only say that you didn't because inters. You've got 2 next. So you did the out lap, which was 2 minutes, and the in lap, which was 1 minute 46. Everyone else has done 3. Equaz 3, 3, 3. Will be 3, 3. I only say because everyone else did 3 and you did 2. So either everyone else is being very cautious or you're not. And also, didn't you do the other one? Yeah, you did 3 on your wets. Like your wets were fine, Jenna. But your inters only registers you as 2. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Safeguard's coming in this lap. I will be back to commentating. So Kieran now is pushing on. You got safeguard restart. KD's going to dive straight to the pit lane as a ginger rage. And he has gone on KD. He's about to blast straight to the pit lane. He flies it to the left, and as does ginger rage into the left. These guys into the pits, and I'm sure Lewis will follow them in. But yeah, that 46 of 62, we're back to green flag conditions, and Kieran leads away by 1.5 seconds. Equaz is a further 1.7 back. Jinna has got reflection all over his back, and Jinna has older tyres, so Legend and Legend and Jinna might be a bit of a cork in the bottle here. Kieran is the tyre that he needs to blast away while he can. He has the same tyres as everyone else. He needs to blast away whilst he still can. I think everyone's more or less in. Yeah, everyone's more caught up. Vintage as well, back onto positive fuel. So Kieran pushing on. He does have the grip and the speed. He has a lot better tyres than Legend. Equaz will now have to try and reel in his teammate. Jinna as well has to look behind him. There's a massive queue forming, and Jinna's already had a bit of a bad exit. He's having to burn battery because reflection look at the inside. Reflection. Oh, that was ballsy, but it was too much for reflection. He goes deep, he goes wide, and loses the position to Vessier. And that could be costly for the championship protagonist in the future. Now Vessier needs to try and make his way past the Williams, preferably without doing what Reflection just did. And Reflection has broken. What has happened to Reflection is he okay? The yellow flag is set 2 for some reason, but there isn't a yellow flag. He's still got full front wing, so I'm not sure what's going on there. He's got a bit of a tag from his teammate who's on old hard tyres and not enjoying it. After beat, he's about to slide past his outside. With DRS, yeah, DRS has been able to the end of this lap. Vessier is still behind Jinna, as Jay Hings is still fighting with RTB. This is going to potentially get Vessier slide there. Ugly Styles a little bit with the hand, he's still there. RTB, oh, he pushes Styles wide. Styles on the track, and now here comes Serious Mushroom. Mushroom up the inside of the McLaren. Can he get the move done into turn 1? Doesn't think anything, but no. But the McLaren breaks late. Styles tries to cut up the inside of RTB. Nothing doing there for either driver. RTB continues on his older medium tyres. Equaz on the back of his teammate. It's going to be a difficult fight for Legend. Legend brings it straight into half mode, and Equaz last pass with little to no. Jesus. Short over there to Equaz. Listen over distance. Vessier also gets past. Jinna's also got Reflection up his inside. Vessier's a bit deep into that corner. Reflection's on the outside. Jinna's going to try and hold it around the outside. That's a walk. Reflection is trying to get past this Williams as quickly as he can. He needs to do it for the sake of this championship, and he's going to get it done potentially. He does, yes. This is through, easily done on the exit. And now Jinna has to worry about Jay Hings, whose tyres aren't particularly much better. I think he's given him a bit of a nudge there. Jinna has absolutely nothing compared to these guys. These tyres are shot. He does not have any grip at all. His tyres are probably hitting the cliff. And RTB's going to lunge up the inside of Jay Hings. Oh, there's a bit of a nudge. There's a bit of a nudge behind as well. These guys are all trying to get past each other, and they are falling over each other with remarkable haste. Jinna holding on as best as he can in that Williams with those tyres as they are. And RTB is being pushed almost by Hungry Stars around the corner because Jinna, Hings and RTB did not pitch under that safety car. They do not have the same tyres as the cars around them. And for the he's been hit. RTB's been rear-ended by the McLaren. That could get a bit of McLaren front wing damage. Serious Mushroom is looking on with a bit of excitement. So Serious Mushroom, it is getting very feisty down in the lower reaches of the top 10. Jinna is trying to hold on. He's doing a remarkably decent job considering his tyre offsets the cars around him. But yeah, he's struggling a bit. Maybe it would have been a wise choice to pit under the safety car. KD, fastest man on track on the soft tyres, no surprise there. As they are pushing on those that did not pit, or sorry, those that pitted at the end of the safety car. Jinna does let Hings go. He does, yes, did race for 3 seconds for track limits. The race podium is truly in the bin. It's a dead dream. As it is now Vessier on the back of Legend. Vessier on the fight for P3. He does have a penalty to worry about, 3 seconds against his name. So he does have that to worry about, but if he can get past Legend and keep pushing on, he has to find 8 tenths to Reflection, and he can keep that podium spot. Can he get the move done here? No, so to wait for it until the next DRS straight, but you think that tyre offset, it should be a pretty straightforward move from the Aston Martin. No, too far back, Legend's got a very good exit there. And that's going to hurt him a bit, because every lap stuck behind Legend, but it's going to be a lap in which Vessier can improve. Kieran, 32 flat, what a lap. For reference, Equars has just done a 32-1. Wow. Kieran is flying out there, the track he loves, clearly. Vessier still can't quite get past Legend. This is not helping his case. He needs to get past the Haas as quickly as possible. After being a 3-second penalty, Jenner is passed by the Alpine. I'm not sure Jenner's game plan here. He only has 12 laps to go. Whereas medium's surely not going to make it to the end of the race. Going wide as Vessier has got past Legend into the braking zone. I fear there may be another take. Can be started to get past Jenner. Now, they're all on top of each other at the moment. Russian looking on. I mean, these guys aren't that far clear. You know, these guys are picked on the end of the safety car, so you know, still definitely people to watch. Legend's still trying to hang on to the back of Vessier. He has just dipped out the DRS range, which is probably going to help Reflection a lot more than would have been prior. Reflection will be on those better tyres. He does now need to get past the Haas with a lot more haste than Vessier did. He does have a sniff of the podium. His champion rival Equars at one point looked like it would be absolutely nowhere. But it looks like Equars could outscore Reflection here as things stand, and that is the last thing Reflection will want and or need. So he needs to get past this Haas as quickly as possible and keep within Vessier's 3 seconds just to limit the damage done, and it will tighten the championship battle even more. Is Reflection going to go for it to tell one? No, there's a Mushroom is coming down the order. Mushroom into the pits. What tyre does he have to go to? I'm quite ugly where Mushroom had to go on a set of tyres, but he is. He has, is it soft? Yes, it's soft to go on, which he will take now to the end of the race, being passed by everyone around him, including his teammate. But Kieran out front, well clear of the chasing pack. Legend is passed by Reflection as Hungry Stars get past R2 Beat. Those on the medium clearly having a much better day than those on the old. So Stars here could be a shout of a P5. He's got Keychains on the road on 6 up on older hard tyres, and Legend on a lot older hard tyres. So Hungry Stars here could be in with a shout of P5. I did say he's very much a race day man, and he could be coming into play, although doesn't have that penalty to his name. So Reflection now just has to keep within Vessier's 3 seconds. That's all he has to do. I mean, if he wants to, he does have the time to potentially go after Vessier and potentially try and close that gap to Equars, because Kieran just disappeared off the street. Kieran is not going to be really doing much. Not really able to do much. Is the old stage driver as Kieran gets another fast lap of the race, 31.7. That Williams is simply untouchable out there at the moment. Yeah, incredible lap times coming off the Williams out there. Reflection has the line 33.4. I mean, that's ridiculous. Well over a second off. But he's keeping within Vessier's 3 seconds, and that's all he needs to do at the moment. So it is very important that he does so. He needs to get on that podium. So as things stand, if the race was to finish as is, with Equars in second and Reflection in third, because of course Vessier has that penalty against his name, the gap would close from 10 points to 4. Sorry, 10 points to 6. He would lose 4 points. So yeah, that's going to make it very tight. And of course, as I said, Lucas Percy not here. This is critical for their championships if they want to stem the flow that has been very much going towards the Kick Sauber driver. So interesting to see. Of course, we are closing in ever more. So lap 53 of 62. We are coming towards the end of this race. Reflection is closing on Vessier. He doesn't look like he wants to stick behind and just get a podium on merit. He's going to try and go for the overtake. As I said, he's not a million miles away from Brian Eckwards either. So if he could get within, if he could get past Vessier and potentially go after the Haas driver, I'm sure he would have minimal complaints about that if he can try and stem that difference of 4 points. Every point is going to count in this championship. It is remarkably close between them. As I said, they're going to pull away from Lucas Percy and Stars starting to get past Jay Hings, and Marsky gets past RT Beats all over the fresh mediums, clearing those on the old mediums with relative ease. The battle towards Reflection. Can he get Vessier? Can he do it? Is it just about eking in DRS? He's just about thereabouts. He's hovering. He just needs another 10th, and then he could get to DRS, and that would be so beneficial to him. But he's just not quite there yet. Not quite got enough leg to do it. Vessier's doing all he can to keep that Mercedes out of DRS, and he's doing a fantastic job of it so far. Yeah, he's doing an amazing job of it as Eckwards is closing in. I thought for a second Kieran was on AI again, but he's not. He's just harvesting a lot of battery. So all good. Eckwards is looking likely to be nailed on for a very good second position, which given his qualifying probably was not on his probably was not what he was expecting from today. But of course, you take what you get in F1, podium or not. Hungry Stars on the back of the legend. Is he going to get it done? No, not quite. He has 3 seconds, so he just has to get 3 seconds to clear the legend, which he could do because they have to go. The legend is on such older tyres. Stars blasts his way out of the corner. He's got DRS, he's got ERS, he's got battery to burn and lots of it. Round the outside of the Haas, can he keep it clean? If he can, round the outside, up the inside. And he is through. Now he's got a few laps to try and pull out a 3 second gap, and P5 will be his. Reflection has closed in on Vessier. Vessier might have made a mistake because he is all over the back now of the Aston Martin, and this is going to be critical because he's running out of laps. He needs to get past this Aston Martin because he needs to get after that Haas, and he's not doing that so far behind the likes of Vessier. Does he though have the battery? Vessier and him have very similar levels of battery, are to be falling down the order furthermore behind even Jenner, so he could be struggling a bit. DRS wide open for the Mercedes driver. Nothing he's going to do into this corner. It's going to be all for the next one. Blast it out of the corner. DRS is going to be wide open, but he's nearly half a second back. I don't think there's going to be enough here for Reflection to be able to get a move done. He's not pushing any battery either, so he's not going for it now. He's going to be patient. He's going to wait potentially for the next DRS zone. Not the next one, the one after that. The run down to turn 5. It is the longest DRS zone on the track. Not turn 5, I think it's turn 7, right? The longest DRS zone on the track. He's just going to use what he can, push himself onto the back of the Aston Martin, and then blast it all on the run down to turn 7. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, turn 7. I think. Turn 7. 6 or 7. It does not matter. Reflection pushing on. He's getting a good exit out of this corner. DRS is open. ERS is in play. Does he have the speed to get close? He's getting close. He's closing. 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 He's closing up inside. No, Reflection backs out of it, but he does make Vessier run a bit wide. That's going to help him a bit. Down into the none section of the track. Obviously, they've got to try and save as much battery as possible. Vessier is, so is Reflection. No, he's not Reflection. He's not harvesting. He wants to have a go at this Aston Martin. Sure, he's not into this corner. No. Vessier sees it coming, turns off his battery deployment, turns off his battery deployment just in time. Reflection just wants to get past the Aston. That's all he needs to do. That's all he wants to do. He does. He's running out of laps to get after Eckwards, his championship rival. DRS open for Reflection. This could be it. Vessier didn't know he was going to go to the inside or outside, but Vessier doesn't fight it too much. He did have that penalty against his name. It may not be the fight he particularly needs to get involved in. And now Reflection has a few laps to see if he can do anything about his championship rival Eckwards in P2. So Reflection now up into P3, see how much or if anything he can do against the Haas driver up the road. But at the moment it's looking pretty like he's got 7 laps to try and close it, which means needs to close in by just shy of half a second a lap to be able to get within the DRS of Eckwards. Wasn't asked if you ask me. but he will try his best, I am sure. Further back, Phil's thrown out a bit. Nolsey on the back of Skinner. Nolsey was much better time. Look, there are the drivers that put on the safety car. Here in the DRS as well, just going to hang on to the back of the Mercedes, which can obviously drag him along, no harm, no foul. As we continue on, we've hit the 2 hour mark of this stream. My voice is starting to strain a wee bit, which is why I keep going quiet, because my voice is straining a little bit, but we are nearly at the end, 56 of 62, and gotta say there's been some fantastic drives out here this evening. Kieran has been incredibly quick. Star's up 12, Mask up 5, Vintage up 5, Equaz up 6. I think Equaz has done incredibly well given his starting position. You know, this was potentially a risk that he could lose out big time to reflection, and his driving has made it far less likely. DRS forming key point behind Jay Hings, who does have a lot of penalties to his name. After beating pit. Quick his final stop of the day. Let's have a look. Everyone has done their allotted tyre compounds. Apart from RTB he just wanted to get onto a new set of mediums. No, it is much more past that. Is not yet past Hings. Really massive in the 3 seconds of the styles, 6 seconds up the road. So yeah, Legend looking to be getting P6, which again for the Haas team is good. The Haas team having really strong constructive dominance at the moment. They're really good. He had 2 drivers that have been scoring regularly. Obviously Legend has been very unlucky this season. He has been played here and there. It's been mostly done by poor luck. They are 110 points clear of the table team. Further clear as well after this weekend. They go back and forth. P6 in the constructors, 17 points separates Aston, McLaren, Ferrari and Racing Bulls. And I think it's going to be McLaren as well. Well, yeah, Aston is up there too. So I think McLaren will be better through the room. So an interesting battle going on up and down the grid for the constructors. 1-2 laps, 50 out of 62. Fletcher is closing in on that Equaz, but nowhere near enough to be able to make it a proper battle. Legend at the moment, he's holding on very well with those old hard tyres. He does have Marsky all over him, but he's just using the DRS, although he might have just lost DRS. Has he got DRS to Jay Hings? Yes, he has, and that could leave him vulnerable here to the Ferrari. He's flashing his Legend. This is for position. These two are neither have penalties. Markey is going to run out. Markey ran out of time there. Legend has hit the bump, and Markey's going to try and run the outside. I think Markey's going to be a bit braver with his deployment. I think Legend tries to hit the cliff here because Markey is Legend is falling hand over fist away from the McLaren, and this could be Legend's descent down the grid given his bad. Given his tyre age, he is struggling to keep that Haas under control. This will be Marsky's opportunity to lunge it up the inside. No, not here, but he will have plenty of time. He's got lots of battery. Does Marsky. Legend has a fair amount too. But Marsky in the Ferrari has better tyres by a country mile. We think Legend's tyres have hit the cliff, or the closest to the cliff as you can get in this game. It's just potentially a matter of when, not if, and we've seen Vintage has closed in a lot as well in the other McLaren. So McLaren could be on here for some good points here, but Marsky needs to get past Legend and Vintage as well. He's sniffing around, you can see him in the background in that chrome McLaren. The only chrome McLaren on the grid. He is sniffing around, and Marsky as well, sniffing around the back of the Legend. Legend being able to have a slightly stronger third sector makes him slightly less at risk. But I don't think it's going to be much he or anyone can do to stop the cars from behind coming through. Is as it is going to be quite a tight battle to the end of the race. 3 laps to go, including this one. Lap 59, we've got 60, 61 and 62, not including this one. So 3 laps to go as Vessier has repassed Reflection. Oh dear, what has happened to Reflection? Reflection's got an issue. Reflection's got something's gone wrong. And Reflection now has lost out to the podium. What has happened to the Mercedes? What has happened? He just couldn't upshift. He was struggling to upshift. I'm not sure what's happened to the Mercedes, but he's gone. And this could be a massive swing in the title. Is he able to continue driving? Has something broken for Reflection? He's fallen right off now. I think he could be in AI. He's got a full front wing. He shouldn't be going this slowly. And as things stand, Equaz could be taking the lead of the championship. In fact, he will lose at the moment. As things stand, he'll be 1 point off, and that is not good news for Reflection. I think he is in AI. Something has gone wrong for him because he is in AI, and Jay Hings, his own teammate, is not a million miles away, and Jay Hings has a train of Marsky, Legend, and Vintage still to come. Oh dear, it's all gone wrong for Reflection, like it did in Hungary towards the end. This could be huge for the championship. Huge, I say. Poor Reflection, there's something wrong with the gearbox. He was not upshifting. He could downshift, but he couldn't get out of first gear, and he's trundling around. That is not what he would have wanted or what he would have hoped for in the slightest. And it could be potentially falling further down the lead because Marsky is not that far away. Either Legend or Vintage. None of these guys have penalties. So, you know, it's not entirely conceivable that these guys catch up the back of Reflection. There's 2 laps to go after this one. And he's trundling. He is trundling. If only they had real life, you know, if they had like failures like in real life. He is trundling. Something's gone wrong on that Mercedes. He's still in the car. He's not yet ghosted. But Reflection struggling there with a potential gearbox issue. He's not upshifting at all. And his teammate is closing in. The race is not easy, really, as I said, casual cars. I'm sure Legend would love to get past the Mercedes. That would make his teammate very happy indeed. That would give Equaz the lead in the championship. But still, a couple laps to go. Kieran has started his penultimate lap. In fact, his lap PD for good measure. So Kieran has started his penultimate lap of the race, a race that he has dominated from start to finish. Stars has fallen outside of Equaz's penalty, so Hungry Stars, Reflection falls outside of Stars' penalty. So Jay Hings is right there. He needs to get something going in that McLaren, in that Mercedes, otherwise he's going to lose the lead in the championship. He's been very quick all evening, has Reflection, but I fear the Mercedes gearbox in the back of his car may be about to sabotage him in the worst way possible. He just needs something. Yeah, he can't upshift. He can't upshift. And Reflection's day has gone from bad to worse. Here comes his teammate, Jay Hings. Here he comes. He's about to pass his stricken teammate. And there's nothing to do with Reflection. He can't upshift. He's gone wrong. And the gearbox has failed for him. His Mercedes gearbox has failed for him on the penultimate lap of the Singapore Grand Prix. And he is tumbling. He is tumbling. He has nothing. And Equaz is going to take a huge swing in the championship. You can see him weaving with frustration. This could be Reflection out of the points, or at the very least at the very back of them. He's got gears again. His gearbox has started reworking for him, but it isn't going to do much. He's going to get P8 and no higher. Oh no, it's still not Reflection. He's not getting up above 4th gear. There's nothing he can do about it. His car is giving up on him, and there goes Lewis O'Reilly. Heartbreak for the Mercedes driver, for the Mercedes team, as he tumbles down the order with gearbox failure. But someone who is not suffering, may have the same gearbox but not suffering, is Kieran SF1. He has been incredible today. He has been unstoppable. He took an early lead on those soft tyres. He did get re-overtaken, but he has led this race from as much as he can. He has dominated this race. He's beaten Equaz by 15 seconds, and that's Equaz we're talking about here. So Kieran, the new driver in the Williams team, replaced Coupe earlier in the season. Williams are fighting with Mercedes for second in the constructors, and they're going to take massive boost from this result here. He's only raced. Did he win last week as well? I need to double check. I obviously missed out last week. He did win on track last week, but he had a penalty, and I don't think that such an issue is going to affect him today. He's already celebrating halfway down the straight. He doesn't need to worry about his rival coming near him, and on a day in which the championship is going to swing, Kieran SF1 is going to take a win that he thoroughly deserves. Any penalty now will do little to dampen his mood, because there's nothing they could give him that could really stop him from taking this win. 62 laps, all 5 tyre compounds, nothing could stop Kieran SF1 as he rounds the penultimate corner for the final time, and it's the final corner for the last time. Kieran SF1 wins the Singapore Grand Prix and slides across the line in style just to end it out. Equaz, he maybe have to settle for P2 on the road, but given the fact his championship rival has incurred a terrible gearbox failure, he will take that. Equaz will retake the lead of the championship, and he will be more than happy with that, I am sure. Bessier will take a very well-deserved P3. A round of applause for Hungry Styles in P4. Jay Hings will finish on the road in P5, but I can assure you he will not stay there. So Marty will take P5. Very nicely done for him. So Jay Hings crosses the line, but he's about to get dumped out of the positions. There he starts tumbling down, and the yellow flag again as Reflection's gearbox. Reflection's gone. Reflection has spun his gearbox, given up, and now he's round, and that could drop him outside of his teammates' penalty range. Jay Hings holds on to P10. Reflection round the final corner, he'll beat Ginger Rage, and that will be it. P12 for Reflection, heartbreak for the Mercedes driver. Ginger Rage P13, Serious Mushroom is P14, and R2B is P15. The fireworks here celebrating the drivers that have finished. 16 drivers finished this race. Very well done to each and every single one of them. And R2B brings them 3 seconds on the line just to be safe. Oh, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the end. The Singapore Grand Prix. What a race for everyone. Wow. My voice is very dead. Very dead. There is Kieran. He takes a win in the Williams, the new Lucas person, because he's won back-to-back already. I think he did win last week. I think it's a bit too late for him to have a major say in the championship. Vessier already very eager to get his post-race interview done. He's already joined the party. Very impressive stuff there from the Williams driver. We will just run through the results there before we jump into Vessier's interview. So let me just quickly go through the results. If I may, I certainly will. Let's just get that done. Okay, I'll do him. So Kieran wins, Equaz is second, Vessier is third, Styles is fourth, Marsky is fifth, Legend is sixth, Vintage is seventh, Lewis and Riley is eighth, Knowlesy is ninth, Jay Hings is 10th, Gino is 11th, Reflection is 12th, Ginger Rage is 13th, Serious Mushroom 14th, R2B 15th, KD is in 16th, Liam and Hakusaku, what a name, did not finish this race at all. We do have a couple of our podium sitters in the party. Hopefully we'll get all 3, because that would be quite nice if we could get Equaz. Equaz, get your AS in here. But while we wait for Equaz to decide if he wants to chat to us or not, we'll start with our 3rd place man, Mr. Vessier. Hello, that was quite a race from you there. How's that from your point of view?
It was interesting. It was very unfortunate with the safety car, but yeah. Probably should have had a net P2.
Yeah, I mean,
I had 4 back-to-back fastest laps before the safety car came out, so yeah. Frustrating.
I can imagine. Tell us how how having all 5 compounds in play changed that strategy for you. What sort of elements did that throw into the mix?
Well, going onto the wets early were good because you got them out the way, but then you would have people that have stayed out on the dries, then be on the wets, and you're coming out through on the hard, or just on the dry tyres, let's say. And you're catching them a ton, and then you get to a corner and they're about a second slower on the wets, let's say. Inters wasn't too bad, but yeah, it was a bit of a mess of knowing where people were at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people were flying up and down the order. Equaz at one point was dead last, and then he finished second. So yeah, definitely very difficult to keep track of. Moving on to, we're going to Texas next week, COTA. How do you feel about that track? Is that a track you like, or will it be one for you to avoid?
say it'll be one of my strongest circuits, but yeah, we'll see. Depends on what car you're in.
Yeah, it really does. There's no wild card for next week, so you don't have to worry about using all 5 tyre compounds in one go next week, which I'm sure will come as a relief to you.
Yeah. Oh well. 2 podiums this week, so that's good.
It is indeed. Congratulations to Vestiaire P3. We'll move on to our... I mean, he finished P1, but I think it's probably one of the most dominant drives we've seen in a while. Kieran, how was that race from your point of view? For the most part, it looked like you had it on easy mode.
I wouldn't say easy mode. It was quite fun. I really enjoyed the wild card. Yeah, it was. I enjoyed kind of not knowing, like Sylvan said, the not knowing where people were. For example, I didn't know what the Hassets were on until the safety car, where I kind of figured out where they were. But yeah, enjoyable race, and I wouldn't say easy mode. There was, for example, the disconnection. That set me back a fair bit, but yeah, enjoyed it. Considering that's one of my weaker circuits, I'm quite happy about that.
Dear God, if that's your weaker circuits, I'd hate to see what you like at one of your stronger circuits. Yeah, you mentioned the wild card. You had you had a very sizable gap. What was your reaction when the safety car came out? Because you were, I think, 30 seconds clear nearly of the cars behind. Were you relieved to see it, or were you like thinking, well, you finishing your inters, so were you relieved, or were you thinking, oh God, now I've got everyone up behind me again?
Relief more than anything, because it was in the inters, and so I think Agenda would have been like 5 seconds in the 5-second range, and I preferred having, especially the AlphaTauri, the place behind on intermediates. That was quite relieving to know. So then I knew I could, in the safety car restart, go before the pit lane and leave, so he'd still hold up the guys behind just for that few seconds. So yeah, more relief than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. What are your goals, really? Because I think you're a bit late to say we can throw you into the championship fight, despite your very strong pace. But Williams are in the fight for second in the constructors with Mercedes. Is that your plan, just to keep plugging away and hopefully take second away from Mercedes?
Yeah, can do. I'm more racing just for fun more than anything. I do the odd practice session before the race, but yeah, just doing it for fun, see what happens. I didn't realise we were fighting Mercedes for second in the constructors, so now I know that. Definitely will be pushing to get that, and yeah, I think Gino did he get a good result in the end?
Well, he came home 11th, but he might have been the only driver that didn't complete the rule, so he might be getting slapped with the 20 seconds. He says he did 3 laps on Inters. Race Director says he did too. So we'll wait and see what that is. And how do you feel about next week, Texas? Is that a track you like? Is that one of your strongest tracks? Should we all be scared?
I actually love Texas, so this is going to be absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to it.
Right, fantastic. I know I can't do it, but I'm doing some inside betting. I put £5 on you winning next weekend. No wildcard. Congratulations, Kieran. An absolutely dominant performance from you there. Very well done. That is all we will have time for, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to say goodnight. It's been a long race. My voice is hurting, and hopefully you've all enjoyed it. Thank you all for watching the Singapore Grand Prix. We'll be back Sunday, 7:30 p.m. BST for gold. Again, Monday for silver, and Tuesday for bronze. We are back next week, same time, same place, for Texas. No wildcards this time, so it's just going to be pure pace. It was a massive swing in the championship tonight. Equaz will retake the championship lead. Reflection, he had a gearbox problem right at the very end that has robbed him and could put him at a disadvantage. Will Lucas Percy be back as well? Could we have a continued 3-way fight for the championship? And what can Kieran do? He's proven to be a thorn in the side of everyone, and there's still quite a lot to play for. I've been Luke. I'd like to thank you all very much for watching. It's been a pleasure to have you all alongside me. I will see you all next week.